Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The Flower Mound Jaguars have ended their district losing skid thanks to a 28-27 win over McKinney-Boyd last week. Tonight, they look for more as they face a desperate Plano Wildcats team that's now 0-2 in District 6A after taking a 65-0 drubbing at the hands of the Allen Eagles a week ago. The Jaguars find themselves in a position to put together a winning streak as they have momentum on their side, a win under their belt, and a game tonight in the friendly confines of Neil Wilson Stadium. Good evening and welcome to Flower Mound, Texas. I'm Eli Jordan along with my broadcast partner, Cody Barfnick. And as the calendar rolls into fall and the temperatures start cooling off, the Jaguars look to stay hot here tonight. And Cody, what a game we got to see last week. Not only do Dane Johnson's Jags get their first win in over a year, but they do so in incredibly dramatic fashion.
Yeah, definitely dramatic fashion. You know, I want to say I really think last week was one of the better high school games I've seen in quite a while. Flower Mound definitely came in last week needing to get a win. They were desperate for a win, and they ended their losing streak since week 2 of last season. And we saw several things at work last week. We saw, obviously, we'll talk about Connor Lee a little bit in the next segment, but we saw a more patient Noble Newton. We saw a Boyd team that looked like they were a little bit surprised with what they got with Flower Mound. They rolled over Flower Mound 46-6 last year, and that's one thing that Flower Mound had on their mind. And I think as many weeks as we talked about, I think the Jaguars are ready to win. They did win last week, and now that they know how to win against a team who is as good as Boyd, number 20 in the area, and now that they have that going for them, it could be a snowball effect, and you could see more wins for the Jaguars. And we're looking at two teams tonight that are in very different places. Flower Mound is riding high after a big win last week, and the Wildcats of Plano are really beat up. They took a drubbing at the hands of Allen, 65-0 last week, and they haven't scored a point in their last 6 quarters. And but they're desperate and they're looking to make a change tonight. And I don't think you will see 8 turnovers again this week for Coach McCullough's squad.
Yeah, and Cody, of course, you mentioned him. We've got to talk about him a little bit. A huge part of that win last week, sophomore linebacker Connor Lee. Lee, 20 tackles, a pass broken up. He catches a 30-yard TD reception there late in the game to give the team the lead, and then blocks the potential game-tying extra point with 1:35 left. The Broncos, they're able to come out on offense, and they get a defensive hold against Flower Mound to get the ball back with about a minute or so left, and then once again Connor Lee leads that Flower Mound Jaguars defense out on the field for a final defensive stand. They're able to get the victory, and the special game Lee had, we talked about it a lot in the post-game show last week, and then again talking about it again tonight, but we're not the only ones that took notice of that monster game. He gained some notoriety this week from not only the Jaguars fan base, but the Dallas Morning News took notice of Connor Lee as well.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm sure everybody in Flower Mound Jaguar fans had a chance to see it, but there was a write-up. Matt Wixon wrote an article about how his brother Hunter was a standout player back in the 2007-08 season. And, with Connor, you can just see his presence on the field. You can just see the way he plays when he's on defense. He's the quarterback of that defense, and we'll talk later. Flower Mound will operate out of a 4-3 system tonight, which is a switch from what they've done the first couple of weeks of the season when they were operating out of the 3-4. But they will put Connor Lee in that middle linebacker position. He will quarterback that defense. He'll be all over the field. And last week we saw him just really take over the game. He really took over the game from the get-go. He made the first 7 or 8 tackles from scrimmage on Boyd's first drive. And we saw him down on the field earlier warming up with the offense, and we'll see if he gets more playing time at tight end and as a blocker tonight. But we're going to have to start a counter and just see how many tackles he gets in this game and how many big plays he makes, because he is definitely a playmaker, and he made the difference in that game for him last week.
Yeah, certainly. As just a sophomore, it's pretty unbelievable to watch what he does out there on the football field. And, of course, he also did end up winning the Dallas Morning News Defensive Player of the Week, and that just goes for defense. That's not even including the touchdown reception that he had. They threw that into the article, but this was just solely based on his defensive performance, the 20 tackles, the one pass, and then, of course, blocking the potential game-tying PAT there to preserve the 28-27 win. Cody, Noble Newton also has an error-free effort in the win. Comes up with some clutch throws late. He put the team on his back, not only with his arm, but he also did it a lot with his feet last week. So Noble Newton with a great performance as well.
Yeah, he did have a great performance. And, one thing that I noticed about Newton last week is he seems like he's a more patient quarterback. We saw him in week 1 back against Byron Nelson 4 weeks ago. He started to panic a little bit when the pressure got to him, tried to run when there wasn't necessarily a lane to run, and he's gotten better as each week has gone by. I'm sure Coach Johnson's very happy. I'm sure offensive coordinator Scott Grantham is happy as well, because he seems like he can slow down the pace of the game a little bit. We last year, one of the things Flower Mound tried to do was control the tempo of the game by moving fast. They tried to get teams off balance. Didn't work out too well for them, but what we've seen this year is they really try to grind out drives, and with the style of offense that Plano has, this could be a pretty quick game tonight if both teams are moving the ball the way that they want to. And one thing that I look for Noble Newton to do tonight is be patient in the pocket, patient getting out of the pocket, and one thing we saw from him last week is that he tends to now in week 4 and moving into week 5 of the season only run when he absolutely has to, and he does it to extend drives. He's done a very good job of it so far in 2015, and I don't think that's going to change tonight against a Plano defense that's reeling after last week.
Surely, and they've called Newton's number as well on several designed quarterback run plays. Newton now completing 60% of his passes, and he's also thrown more touchdowns than he has interceptions, thrown 6 TDs to just 5 picks now. And one of the big numbers that stands out to me, Cody, is he's now rushing for over 5 yards per carry on the ground, so Newton really doing it all with his arm and with his legs. What a win for Connor Lee, Noble Newton, and company as they finally turn the corner and gather some confidence. Hopefully, that confidence carries over tonight against a Plano team that likely knows they cannot afford to start out 0-3 in the district. It's the Flower Mound Jaguars and the Plano Wildcats tonight from Neil Wilson Stadium. When we come back on the Whirly Ball pregame show, we'll talk about some other critical 6A games on the schedule, and we'll continue to break down this matchup. That's next, right here on Champion Sports Radio.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection? Our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your which made while you're on the way.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Welcome back to Flower Mound Jaguars football and the Whirly Ball pregame show. I'm Eli Jordan along with Cody Barfnick as we get you ready for Flower Mound in Plano tonight. Let's take a few minutes to talk about some of the other 6A games going on around the area tonight.
Yeah, there were a couple other games going on right now in 6A. Well, not right now, but going on later, obviously. But in District 6A, it seems like it's always a big week because we call it the Gauntlet. And I think the games are going to start to get more interesting as the weeks go on because, as we mentioned in the pregame off air, I think this last playoff spot is going to start to get wide open. With Flower Mound doing as well as they did last week, they have a very good chance at getting a win tonight. If Plano can win tonight and rip off 2 or 3 wins in a row, they're going to have a legitimate claim for that last playoff spot. So it's going to get very interesting with some other games in the area. Last week, Flower Mound beats McKinney Boyd 28-27, and Boyd travels to Tom Kimbrough Stadium or Clark Field in Plano, rather, to take on the Plano West Wolves, who have kind of gotten off to a slow start. I mean, without Soso Jamabo, obviously you lose probably 80% of your production on offense from last year, those of you who saw him play. And with Boyd, it's been a weird season for them so far. They have a great quarterback in Restmeyer. They have 2 great running backs and a really good receiving core, and they seem like they just got punched in the mouth a little bit by the Jaguars last week. And I think that's a team who is going to go on a run at some point. Boyd's not a bad team, and they're too good to continue this season like they have so far. So I think they have a good opportunity to bounce back tonight, and they're still very much in play for that last playoff spot.
Yeah, no question about that. I mean, McKinney Boyd, obviously a team that we got to see firsthand last week, and like you said, Cody, that's a very good, very well-rounded football team. They're not bad on defense. They're very good offensively with Restmeyer, and I feel like if they can string a few together, obviously they're going to have a chance, but, they've played themselves a little bit behind the 8 ball, as have a lot of teams in this district so far. Really nobody seems to kind of want to get things going in the right direction. Everybody kind of sputtering a little little bit. They'll win one, lose one. And, Plano in that same kind of boat. We'll see them here tonight. You've got Louisville and Hebron, another couple of teams that, are kind of on the outside looking in right now. Hebron, of course, has kind of turned a corner a little bit after having a lot of injuries last year. Brian Brazel, a heck of a head coach over there for Hebron. So, if you look at teams like Hebron and Louisville, they play tonight, and that's a game that could be important.
Definitely. Louisville goes to Hawk Stadium in Carrollton to take on the Hebron Hawks. Hebron is a much different team from last year. They got to win over these Plano Wildcats 2 weeks ago in overtime, shut them out in the second half after being down 28-14 at halftime. So they're having a bounce back season at Hebron. Louisville, they're coming off of a loss 2 weeks ago against Marcus, which Marcus, we'll talk about them here in a second. But with Louisville, though, they've got Tyrell Shavers, who's kind of coming into his own as a wide receiver. They've got Denzel Okafor, who is a Dave Campbell super team ESPN 300 recruit, who has interest from the University of Texas. Pretty much any Division I school you can name, he has offers from. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. If Louisville can beat Hebron, and then they're in play for that last playoff spot.
That certainly throws a monkey wrench in things again.
And, it's kind of I think that's one of the bigger bubble games to watch, because either team that wins that game is going to stake a legitimate claim for that last playoff spot if they can get 2 or 3 more district wins, and that's very tough to do in District 6-6A.
Yeah, certainly. You mentioned it before. I mean, this is a district that will just beat you up left and right. And, of course, the big game tonight in District 6-6A, a couple of teams that many feel are the top 2 teams in the district this year. Of course, the unbeaten Allen Eagles, who have won 7,000 games in a row now or something like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they get Flower Mound Marcus tonight. So Marcus and Allen, Marcus travels to Allen tonight. So that a big game. If Allen should win that one, then, you give Marcus a district loss. And then now all of a sudden you're talking about, bringing all these teams back into the mix a little bit for that second spot.
Right. I think, as far as how the district's looking right now, obviously a team that's won 48 straight games like Allen has, you expect them to win the district. Marcus is playing well enough to where I think, depending on what happens in the Mound Showdown next week, I think they have a legitimate claim at second place.
No doubt. Yeah.
So I think you have those 2 teams, regardless of what happens tonight, in those 1 and 2 spots. So, but you start to get even third place seems like it may be in doubt. Plano East is playing really well.
They are.
But
a young team. Plano East is still a very youthful team. Yep.
They could lose their next couple 3 games. I mean, who knows? So they're off tonight.
They're bye this week. Yeah. So that obviously helps. Anytime you get a bye week, get yourself rested. So Plano East will be tough next week.
So I think tonight, I really think the Marcus and Allen game tonight, I think it's not an understatement to say that game is for the district championship. It may very well be.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to keep an eye on that game. We're going to be giving updates on that, of course, as the night goes on. But I think people could be shocked by what happens in Allen's night, because Marcus, Coach Stanford, has got that team so turned around. Their defense is so good. Their quarterback has shown he doesn't make a mistake. He hasn't made pretty much any mistakes as the season's gone on. So I think Marcus may shock Allen. Allen's got to lose at some point. They have to lose at some point. And I think
you keep saying it hasn't happened
yet.
Yeah,
I know. But I think if anybody in District 6-6A can be, and I don't mean to shed a dark shadow on any of these other teams like Flower Mound, Plano, or Plano East, but I think if a team in District 6-6A is going to beat Allen, it could be the Marcus Marauders tonight.
No doubt. Appreciate it, Cody. Here at Neil Wilson Stadium, it's Flower Mound hosting Plano. After the break, we'll take a closer look at the Jags' opponent tonight. We'll break down what both these teams need to do if they're going to come away with a much-needed district win. That's coming up next on the Whirly Ball pregame show right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Wich Superior Sandwiches. At Which Wich, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection, our Which Wich ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite wich, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing wich is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which Wich ordering app and have your wich made while you're on the way.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
And welcome back to the Neil E. Wilson Athletic Complex on the campus of Flower Mound High School. Along with my analyst for tonight, Cody Barfnick, I'm Eli Jordan. It's the Flower Mound Jaguars and the Plano Wildcats tonight as District 6A play continues. Let's take a minute and look at some of the key matchups here this evening, see what it'll take for each one of these teams to come away with a critical 6A win. And Cody, as you know, Flower Mound, for them tonight, it's going to be all about trying to keep that momentum and confidence from last week. After last week's adrenaline dump, the Jags, they're going to need to avoid coming out flat tonight against a very dangerous Plano team. A lot of times, as you know, I'm sure you've played before, after you come off a big win like that, you know, the next few days can be kind of a whirlwind, and you don't want to come out flat after kind of, you know, being really, really up and excited for the first few days of this week.
No, you most definitely don't. And one thing that I've noticed about Flower Mound last week, you know, obviously you get your first win since week 2 of the previous year, and you're going to be really excited. You should be. I mean, especially beating a team as good as Boyd was last week. But you're right. You're absolutely right when you say they can't come out flat. And I think the definition of coming out flat for Flower Mound is, to kind of go back to last week a little bit, we saw them play. We said in the pregame show before Boyd that they were going to have to play flawless to win because Boyd was such a good team. I think tonight they're going to have to come out and do the same thing, because if you have a team that's as desperate as Plano is, you can't start 0-3 in this district. You just cannot do it and make the playoffs. So Plano knows they're going to have to win probably 3 or 4 out of their next 5 games to end the season to get that last playoff spot, or even third place for that matter. So I think for Flower Mound, you got to come out. You have to play your game. We saw them play their game last week, chewed time off the clock, and that's exactly what Plano is going to do as well. So I think it could be a very quick game. You're going to see 2 offenses that run very sound systems, and I think if you're Flower Mound, it's just keep avoiding mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Don't get penalties in key situations, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you mentioned no turnovers, no penalties. They had some penalties last week, but no turnovers, and that's just absolutely huge, especially against a Plano team that really likes to run ball control. They will try and chew clock on you. If they have their offense on the field, they are going to eat up some clock, and that can turn ugly for you really quickly if you're Flower Mound. If you're down 14-0 and Plano has the ball, they're going to milk some of that clock for you. And when it comes to milking that clock for Plano, you need to look no further than running back Brandon Stevens, a true Division I talent who will play his college ball at Stanford next season. The Jags have their handful with him tonight. Once again, it'll be up to guys like Daryl Rutherford, Connor Lee, and Chandler Clatterbaugh. They'll need to come up big and bottle up a very dangerous ball carrier.
Yeah, well, if there's one thing that last week told us, it was Connor Lee is definitely legit.
I think that's an understatement, yes.
He is legitimate. And one thing that I was most impressed about as far as the Flower Mound defense goes last week is it introduced us to guys like Daryl Rutherford, who was a nose tackle, kind of, if you will, an undersized nose tackle, but he was all over the field making tackles last week. And another guy that I look to have a big game tonight is Robert Darnell, the other linebacker that's back there with Connor Lee. I think he's going to have a big night tonight. And it's just, I think, get to the ball as fast as possible. If there's one thing that Sam Harrison, the defensive coordinator for the Jaguars, has done well, it's to teach his guys to get to the ball as quickly as possible. It's not hard to do for Connor Lee because he's just a special player. But if your guys like Darnell and Rutherford, it's play up to the level you did last week, and that's going to complement the play of Connor Lee extremely well, and it's going to throw Plano's offense off balance, and it's going to put a fantastic running back like Brandon Stevens in a compromising situation. So I think if Lee just plays his game, if Daryl Rutherford whips off the blocks that he did this past week against a big offensive line from Boyd, and Robert Darnell plays half as good as Connor Lee does, Flower Mound's defense is going to have a really big night tonight.
All right, we're just about 3.5 minutes away from the kickoff here. Coming up next, we'll have the starting lineups, and we'll get this game underway as Flower Mound hosts Plano right here under the Friday Night Lights on Champion Sports Radio.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
And welcome back to Flower Mound, Texas. Tonight, it is a matchup between the Flower Mound Jaguars and the Plano Wildcats. And both the teams are out on the field. Plano won the toss. They deferred to the second half. Flower Mound will get the ball to start the game, and we will get you some starting lineups right now for Flower Mound. They will be out first on offense. Their coordinator is Scott Granum. Their Left tackle is Duke Carrillo. The left guard, Ty Neighbors. The center is Balin Smith. The right guard is Blake Watson. The right tackle, Carter Severson. The wide receivers are Jack Sikora, Brendan Alves, Dylan Tillotson, and Dylan Gorlich. You'll also see some Chandler Clatterball in at wide receiver, as well as some of the other players. And running backs, you'll have Ifani Uzawehi, and you'll also see some of Chase Limke as well. And the quarterback is senior Noble Newton. For Plano defensively, their coordinator is Clint Stewart. The defensive line consists of ends Byron Tate and Tucker Policia. Conley McCabe and Darian Foster are the defensive tackles. The linebackers, Thomas Venegas, Landry Kershaw, and Ja'Cory Sanders. The cornerbacks are C.J. Wall and Seagull Mbua. And the safeties are Nick Melson and Aaron Ragas. For the Wildcats, offensively, Joey Stone is their offensive coordinator, although you will see Jadon McCullough handle the play-calling duties here tonight. The left tackle is Kadarius Smith. He is an SMU commit. The left guard, Spencer Tripp. The center is Dawson Dawkins. The right guard is Peter Lowrich. The right tackle is Gerald Wheeler. The tight end, Conley McCabe. The wide receivers are Terrence Raymond, Carson Williams, and Garrett Frederick. The running back is Brandon Stevens. He will play his college ball next year at Stanford. And the quarterback is senior Matt Keys. Flower Mound defensively, their coordinator is Sam Harrison. This week they will come out in a 4-3 look, including Hayden Brewer, Darrell Rutherford, Eric Curl, and David McHale on the front line. The linebackers are Zach Roberts, Robert Darnell, and sophomore Connor Lee, who is the defending Dallas Morning News Player of the Week. The cornerbacks are Devin Coleman and Bailey Smith. The rover is Chandler Clatterball, and the free safety is Freddie Jackson. We are set to go here. The teams are out on the field. The anthem is in the books, and we are about ready to get this one going, Cody.
Yeah, we are. I'm interested to see. We saw Plano win the toss and defer before the game started, so we will see the Flower Mound offense on the field first. And I think if you're Scott Granum, the first thing you want to see is your offense go out onto the field and take a lot of time off the clock to begin the game. You know Plano's going to do the same thing when they're on offense, and I really think that the Wildcats and the Jaguars in this game are going to do their very best to shorten it for each other as we see a kind of a new kick returning core. I think Hayden Hauser and Devin Coleman are going to be back deep. That's a little bit of a switch from Desmond Joy and Devin Coleman, what we've seen in weeks past. But ball's getting teed up right now. We're ready to go here at Neil E. Wilson Stadium.
All right, partner, let's get it on. The Wildcats and the Jaguars here tonight from Neil E. Wilson Athletic Complex. It's a beautiful night. Wind blowing out of the north just slightly. It's calmed a bit from this afternoon. Flower Mound at home wearing their navy jerseys with the gray pants. There's a gray stripe on those pants and their navy helmets. For Plano, they've got a very classic look. The white jerseys with the maroon lettering and maroon pants, and they're all white helmets. Here we go. The kick is in the air, and it will be taken about 1.5 yards deep. And slipping at about the 12-yard line is Devin Coleman, and so right away the Jaguars backed up just a little bit.
Yeah, Blake Mazza, the junior kicker, we saw him warming up out there, Eli, before the game started. He was just booming them from about the 40 or 45. He sends one that I think fooled Devin Coleman a little bit and forced him to take about 2 or 3 steps back into the end zone, but he fielded it outside, so he had to bring it out, and his blocking just wasn't quite set up on that return.
All right, so Noble Newton and company. Here we go. First down and 10. Ball officially marked on about the 12-yard line on the near hash mark. Here's Newton. He's got an empty backfield. Out of the gun, Newton rolling right. They've been moving Newton quite a bit lately. Throws, has his man. It's caught, and that is Dylan Gorlich. And Gorlich enough to move the chains. He's out to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Gorlich lining up in the slot. He ran just a little bit of a post. A corner towards the 25-yard line, and the corner for Plano on the far side of the field, that is Dante Nicholson. He looks like he was a little bit fooled. It was a bit of a stop-and-go route for Gorlich here on first down.
Empty backfield shotgun once again. It looks like we're going to see all the receivers here early. Sending a man in motion, it's Alves. Ball is on the turf, picked up by Plano, following about the 25-yard line. That's a Plano football, as the exchange between Newton and Brendan Alves was not a good one. Ball pops up in the air, and Plano on top of it, and just like that, as we said, they didn't turn it over all of last week. Second play from scrimmage here tonight, they turn one over.
Yeah, that's just not a way you can start a game and expect to keep momentum from last week. It's just you can't do it just on the first play from scrimmage. And I don't know if it was the hit that jarred the ball loose or if it was the exchange, but they sent Alves just in front of Noble Newton on a jet sweep play, and Plano takes over.
All right, so Matt Keys out for the Wildcats. He's got Brandon Stevens behind him. Here is a handoff. Stevens, left side off tackle. Stevens wrapped up after a gain of about 3. And nice pursuit to the football there by the entire Flower Mound defense. And so a gain of maybe 3.5 yards there on first down brings up 2nd and 7. Just about a minute gone here in the first quarter. Already Flower Mound has a turnover. Plano looking to capitalize.
Yeah, very good pursuit that time, as we may be getting an official's timeout on the field here, but no word of what that is yet. But Hayden Brewer from his far side, the near side of the field, defensive end position, was able to come across the field and take down Stevens. Stevens really never got much going as he was met by a host of Jaguars. It was hard to tell if one actually made the tackle by himself.
I'm still trying to figure out what the official timeout is here.
The play clock is off.
Okay, all right. That's all right. There we go. Yeah,
Like,
our head officials down here.
The play clock on the north end of the field's working. The play clock on the south end of the field has nothing showing on it, so I'm not sure if that's a big-time technical problem or what, but it seems like they've had some sort of a disconnection here.
Yes, that is exactly right. Just 57 seconds gone here in our first quarter. Still tied at 0-0. Wildcats 0, Jaguars 0. The Jaguars get the football to start it on the second play from scrimmage. A bum exchange between the quarterback Noble Newton and Brendan Alves, the wide receiver, on a little jet sweep. The ball pops out onto the turf, and Plano takes over. They now have a 2nd down and 7.
I think what the referee, the head official, was saying to Dane Johnson on the near side of the field was that they're also having problems running the play clock on the north end of the field. And I think the PA announcer just said they're going to keep the time for the play clock on the field with the officiating crew, I believe.
All right, we'll do our best to try and keep it in our heads up here.
If they're going to have to just yell out the time it's running down or what. But
I'm sure they have coaches that are on top of that on the sidelines, if that's ever the case. I'm sure they have a contingency for such a thing. I also noticed that on the scoreboard, the actual yardage is not working as well. You know, it says 2nd down, 7 to go, ball on, and then there's nothing lit up there.
The timeouts are also off.
Yes,
as well.
That
so
is right. So I'm not sure if we're having some sort of malfunction with the scoring system here tonight, but
yeah, it seems like if the officials are still talking. They went over to talk to Jadon McCullough. They've already spoken to Dane Johnson, and it looked like we're getting ready to go. We may have some sort of an announcement here from the head official.
Right now we're getting the
They're going to have to keep the time on the field.
Scoreboard equivalent of the Wheel of Death on an Apple product right now.
Right, and they can't. Well, we have it on our computers too. They can't run the game clock either. So everything's going to have to be kept on the field.
All right, well, here we go. Here is the snap. The snap is fumbled. Matt Keys back into his own backfield, tried to throw it and then decided better of it. Chandler Clatterball's way back in the backfield to make the sack, so a bad snap. And Matt Keys able to go back and get on the football, but this will bring up a 3rd down and forever for Plano.
Game clock is running now. It looked like Keys wasn't exactly ready for the snap when he got it. Went over his head, and to make matters worse, Clatterball was blitzing from his safety position, and he was all over Keys as soon as he was able to regain himself.
3rd down and 23 officially. Ball is on the 43-yard line of Flower Mound. 10:25 left here, first quarter, no score. Here is Keys out of the gun. He's got Stevens to his right. Stevens out of the backfield. And the throw from Keys is complete. And that's Garrett Frederick on the reception, but nowhere near the first down. So that'll bring up a 4th down and probably about 12.
Garrett Frederick definitely a force to be reckoned with. He's 5'11", about 6 feet tall, 175 pounds. He's a senior. He's got 4 catches for 74 yards so far on the season, and that is a guy that Keys will like to get involved, especially in big yardage situations.
4th down now. The field goal unit is on for the Wildcats.
This is a guy that definitely can make it from here, as we saw in the pregame.
Yeah, Mazza was kicking them from about 45 to 50 back into what breeze we have here. This one will be with the breeze, not blowing much. Flag's just flickering a little bit. Here is the snap. Hold is good. The kick is away. It's got plenty of distance, and it is good. So Blake Mazza with a deep field goal to get the Wildcats on the board here, 3-0. With 10:09 left here in the first quarter, Plano leading Flower Mound 3-0. We'll be back right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
And welcome back with 10:09 left here in the first quarter of play. Plano takes an early 3-0 lead over the Flower Mound Jaguars. I'm Eli Jordan along with my broadcast partner for the evening, Cody Barfnick, and right away, the Jaguars turn it over, but the defense is able to hold and allow just a field goal. And so the Wildcats leading at 3-0. Here is the kickoff. It is fielded in the end zone by Devin Coleman. Coleman bringing it out. He's at the 15, 20, 25. Shake and bake. He's out to the 30. Nice return there from Coleman. And so Flower Mound takes over, down 3-0.
Yeah, Flower Mound's offense comes back out onto the field, and that last drive just a killer. I mean, you turn the ball over on just the second play from scrimmage, but I think it gives Flower Mound's defense a bit of a confidence boost. I know they had a lot of confidence after last week's game, but to get a stop, especially with Plano taking over at the 25, it's a big morale booster for them.
Sure, no doubt. And I mean, if you're Flower Mound, if you are going to turn it over, it's best that you do it early. That way you've got some time to overcome the turnovers if they do occur. Here is Newton now. And throws to the near side, has Alves tippy-toeing the sideline out past the 40 to the 43.
I think that may actually have been Jack Sikora.
No, you're right. That is number 6. Yeah, Jack Sikora.
Subbed in last minute for Dylan Gorlich, who subs in now at the top of the field. And that's much like the way the last drive started. It's a big gain and a first down for Flower Mound on the first play from scrimmage.
Sikora's 12th reception of the season. Here is Newton out of the gun. We continue to see an empty backfield. Newton fakes the run, now throws over the middle, had a man and just overthrew him. That could have been a touchdown right there. He was looking for Chase Lemke, who had snuck out of that tight end position. And Newton fakes the run, takes one step. It was almost kind of a Tebow-type jump pass.
Just your classic block and release that time from Chase Lemke. He had the defensive end engaged, snuck out of the backfield, and he had split the safeties and was running all by himself at the 40-yard line, and Noble Newton just missed him.
And we have seen a bit of this, especially second half last week, and then to start the game tonight, Chase Lemke and Ifani Uzuehi, normally running backs. Lemke has been out there more as a tight end tonight, and we've been running a lot of empty backfield. Have yet to see Uzuehi. That was the first time we've called Lemke's name. Here is Newton now out of the gun once again, wants to throw and overshoots his intended target, Brendan Alves, down at about the 38-yard line.
He had a little bit of a coverage issue there. He had tight coverage on him by Thamaya Washington, the senior defensive end. He's coming out of a defensive end position on the far side of the field. He's 5'9", 177 pounds, but he had a blanket over Brendan Alves on that last play.
3rd down and 10 now for the Jaguars. 9:45 left here in the opening quarter. The Plano Wildcats leading it 3-0. Here is Newton, empty backfield once again. He's got Lemke in a tight end spot to his left. It's Newton keeping, breaks a tackle, shakes a guy at the 40, now out to the 45, going to be well short of the first down. And we will see here what Dane Johnson elects to do.
I think in this situation you're going to have to punt the ball, as we will see the punting unit for the Jaguars come on the field. About a 5-yard carry for Noble Newton on 3rd down, and it's kind of not really the way this Flower Mound team wanted to start the game offensively.
Josh Grant, a weapon, however. We've seen him unload some booming punts this year. Here is Grant. Takes a few steps to his right, then kicks it. Bouncing at the 20, takes a Flower Mound friendly bounce down inside the 15, down to about the 13-yard line. So a nice punt there from Josh Grant.
Another great one.
And we will stay with you here as the Plano Wildcats back out onto the field, leading 3-0 with exactly 9 minutes left here to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, another great punt, and he's been a very underrated player for this team so far this year, Josh Grant. I mean, he was a big part of the reason they won the game against Boyd last week, Eli, I think. I mean, do you think so?
Oh, no
Because
question.
he consistently pinned Boyd inside their own 15-yard line
that was
last
his
week.
13th punt of the year, averaging 38.5 per. Also the place kicker, and he's done a great job. Here is Stevens now over the right side. Stevens trying to pick a lane. Has to go to the sideline. Can't find much. Maybe picked up 5 or so on first down.
Yeah, Zach Roberts was in pursuit down here on the near side of the field. Couldn't quite get Stevens from behind. He was finally brought down by Devin Coleman, but not before he took his offense to a second down and short situation. And we'll see if they continue to grind the ball with Stevens after a good carry there.
Stevens picks up 5.5. That's about his average per the season. He's got 431 yards on 81 attempts. That's a 5.32 average per carry. Here's Stevens in the backfield once again behind his quarterback, Matt Keys. Here is Keys, takes the snap, and this one goes to the up back. And that is Terrence Raymond on the carry. And so Raymond able to pick up enough for first down yardage, picks up about 5, so that'll move the chains with 8:14 left here in the first quarter.
Seemed like this will be a common theme for Plano's offense. They are definitely taking their time to get into the huddle. This is their MO. They'll use as much time off the clock as possible and run a little bit of a pistol option offense, if you will, as they had the handoff to the fullback and they had Stevens headed to the alley on the option play with Keys.
Got a tight formation of receivers to the top of the field. You have Keys with Stevens behind him out of a pistol. Here is the exchange.
Flower Mound got it.
Flower Mound, did they come up with the football?
They did. Hayden Brewer jumped on it.
And they do. Flower Mound gets the ball. Outstanding. Matt Keys cannot get the exchange to Brandon Stevens, and so the ball falls out on about the 22-yard line, and Flower Mound has created the turnover, and they will be set up here with great field position.
Man, Hayden Brewer was Johnny on the spot on that play. A bit of a bad exchange, I want to say, between Keys and Brandon Stevens, but Hayden Brewer was coming in on a blitz. The ball just was sitting right at his feet, and he jumped on it before Matt Keys could get back on top of it.
Yeah, Keys and Stevens, both seniors. They have obviously worked together before. A little bit shocking to see the bad exchange there between the two, but we'll take it. 7:45 left here in the first. Plano leading 3-0. Here's Noble Newton. This is the first time we'll see Ifani Uzawehi tonight, and Uzawehi wrapped up for a 1-yard loss. And we have a whistle now on the field.
It's going to be a substitute for Plano rather, is number 35, the middle linebacker Landry Kershaw lost his helmet on the play. He'll have to sit out one snap before he can come back in.
That's a rule that was implemented before last season. Anytime a player loses their headgear, they must come out for a play. 7:22 and counting here on the clock in the first quarter of play. Plano leading Flower Mound 3-0. Here's Noble Newton. He's got Uzawehi behind him in a pistol. Now Newton looking, going to keep. Right side, picks up a block from Uzawehi at the 20, 15, 10. Inside the 10, down at the 7-yard line. Noble Newton, outstanding run from the senior quarterback.
That's exactly what we talked about in the pregame. That was a design pass play, but the center, that's Balin Smith, was having a little bit of trouble with Darian Foster, the defensive tackle, right off of the snap, and it really broke down quickly for Noble Newton, but he extended the play with his feet and gives Flower Mound a 1st and goal.
First down and goal from the 8-yard line, Cody. Noble Newton and company looking to get on the scoreboard here early. Now we have a whistle.
Still clock issues. It's an official timeout.
Yep. And we're going to be dealing with that all night long, as neither of the play clocks are functioning properly here tonight. Newton and company now working their way towards the north end zone, or from our right to our left. Fake handoff, Uzawehi. Newton wrapped up in the backfield, nowhere to go. Nice defensive pursuit there from the Plano Wildcats, as Noble Newton couldn't find anything to do with the football, and that's a loss of about 6 on the play.
Yeah, Darian Foster, he subs back in after losing his helmet, makes a great tackle on Newton. It was a designed run play to the near side of the field on a bootleg pattern from Noble Newton. I think he was looking for either, if he didn't have Jack Sikora open in the end zone, I think he was instructed to run it himself, but he didn't have anything working on that last snap.
Sikora and Freddie Jackson to the near side of the field. You've got Alves to the top side of the field. Lemke out of a pistol. Here's Newton looking to set up a screen for Lemke. Finds it. Lemke upended, maybe picked up 3 yards. Nice defensive play there. Coming up from his safety position, that was Ja'Cory Sanders.
And Flower Mound is having Flower Mound's offensive line, I think, is having a little bit of trouble with these Plano defensive linemen. Newton had to throw it under a decent amount of pressure on that play, and this will be another heartbreaker on offense if Flower Mound can't punch this turnover into the end zone on this
Third
possession.
and goal from the 14. 5:54 left here in the first. Here's Newton looking, throws over the middle, has a man at Sikora in the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Jack Sikora! Noble Newton finds his senior wideout, and just like that, the Jaguars lead it 6-3.
Man, that was a heck of a throw that time by Noble Newton. He put it only where his guy could get it in the back of the end zone. Jack Sikora ran right by the junior corner C.J. Wall for Plano and used his height advantage against a 5'10" corner, and it's a touchdown for Flower Mound.
Nice route as well. Sikora able to get open heading towards that post. Does so. Here is the extra point. The kick is away, and it is good from Josh Grant. And so the Jaguars leading 7-3 over the Plano Wildcats with 5:48 left here in the first quarter. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguars football right here on Champion Sports Radio.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
And welcome back. And the Jaguars have taken the lead here with 5:48 left here in the first quarter of play. It's Flower Mound Jaguars football on Champion Sports Radio. I'm Eli Jordan, along with Cody Barfnick. And Cody, the Jags lead it 7-3 over the Plano Wildcats. And what a turnaround we've seen this season have to this point of the Flower Mound Jaguars. They've been playing with a lot of intensity here over the last couple of weeks. And so far, we've seen that momentum kind of carry over from last week's big win.
Yeah, and I think really we've seen momentum carry over from drives. We really needed, Flower Mound really needed to punch in that turnover, take advantage of their opportunity. And if they can capitalize on what Plano can't capitalize on, I think things are looking up for the Jaguars the rest of this game.
And so, back deep to return for the Wildcats is Brandon Stevens and Lepaka Yarrow. It will be Yarrow about a yard deep. He's bringing it out, 10, 15, spin move out almost to the 20, maybe 17, 18-yard line. Decent return for Lepaka Yarrow, and we will see the offense for Plano go to work once again behind Matt Keys.
We'll see if Matt Keys, if they can get their exchange situation worked out, and we'll see if they can get their center, the situation with their center worked out as well. That's Dawson Dawkins, number 50. He had a bad snap on the first drive that took Plano out of range for a touchdown. And that's going to be mistakes that have to be eliminated on both sides, not only for Plano but for Flower Mound as well, if they're going to win this game.
5:43 left here in the first quarter. Jaguars leading the Wildcats 7-3. First down and 10. Ball officially marked on about the 18-yard line. Here is Keys. Got Stevens. Handoff Stevens. Stevens cuts back, finds an alley. He's at the 30, 35. Picks up a block at the 40. Stiff arm 45. He's going to go 50, 40, 40. 35, 30, 20, dragged down from behind. Nice pursuit. Devin Coleman able to run him down from the opposite side of the field, and now we have a late flag on the play. But Brandon Stevens, wow, you can see what that kid can do right there with that run. And he goes for a long one, and we will check the flag.
That's exactly why Coach Shaw at Stanford wants Brandon Stevens right there. That's a killer penalty.
Yeah, late personal
Wildcats.
foul now on Plano. Yeah, so that helps out. That will take a good chunk of that yardage off, but Brandon Stevens, you saw him there, a nice cutback to find a lane, and then was able to get into the defensive secondary in a hurry.
Yeah, I see Robert Darnell and Chandler Clatterbaugh, as well as I want to say that's number 25, Zach Roberts, is in on the conversation down there trying to figure out how best to corral Stevens next time. But that you can definitely see why Stanford wanted him. He is a fast back, and he's got size as well.
And Stevens now out of the Wildcat as he's got Lepaka Yarrow. Here's Yarrow, near side. Yarrow down inside the 25-yard line. They're down right at the 25-yard line. So the penalty brings the ball back out of the 30. Then Yarrow picks up 5 yards on first down. That'll bring up a second down and 5.
It's rare you see the Wildcats using the Wildcat. It's usually teams that aren't true to the name that use it. But he was brought down that time by Freddie Jackson, who cheated up from his free safety position, and Robert Darnell. Haven't seen a whole lot out of Connor Lee so far, but don't count on that lasting a long time.
We've got the same formation here this time. Stevens again out of the Wildcat. This time he keeps it up the middle after faking the handoff to Yarrow, and he picks up 4, close to a first down. I believe he'll be marked a yard short.
Robert Darnell again on the tackle. A big offensive line for Plano. Number 67, Spencer Tripp, and number 65, Peter Lorish, have really been working hard to double-team Darrell Rutherford, taking him out of the play, and we'll see what they come up with here on 3rd and short.
3rd down and 1. Don't forget Matt Keys, the quarterback, is 6'4", 224-pounder, a big kid. And Keys this time going to the top of the field once again as it's Stevens out of that Wildcat. He hands it off to Yarrow this time. Yarrow spin move. And inside the 20, that should be enough for a first down by about a yard. And so move the chains is Lapaka Yarrow, the 5'2", 153-pound senior, 5'2".
5'2", but he is definitely very shifty as he has had his way with the Flower Mound linebacking core. Not very many people can say that. As you see, number 6, Carson Williams, a junior wide receiver, 5'11", 172 pounds, sub in for Plano, and we'll see if they abandon that running game. Well, you still see the Wildcat.
Still see the Wildcat. It should be noted that Matt Keys, the quarterback, is splitting out as a wide receiver during all these plays, so he's still out on the field.
Coach McCullough running to call a timeout for Plano on the far side.
And they do get the timeout in with 3:39 left here in the first quarter of play, and Flower Mound leading at 7-3. I want to take a minute and thank Strategic Direct Solutions, proud to be a senior level sponsor of Flower Mound Jaguars. SDS is a staffing partner that provides great talent to companies all across North America. Visit them on the web at sdsllc.com. That's sdsllc.com to learn more. Assure you have the best players in the best positions on your team. Contact SDS today.
Just real quick, Eli, I know we're broadcasting a football game, but for all you Ranger fans out there, it is 3-0 Rangers going into the bottom of the second as they continue to play well against
Houston. Pound
Houston.
The baseball, yes. I think you get one win down there in Houston, and you can just about they can just about wave the white flag down there in Astros land. Yeah, certainly you're in good shape if you win 2 of 3, but I think one just should just about end that division.
Just go ahead and break out the broom again.
I'd love to. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And come back home with a magic number of what, 1 if we swept them down there this week.
Just win one more game and that's it.
That's correct. Or they get one more loss. The great thing about the magic number is when you're playing them head-to-head, every time you beat them, that takes 2 off that magic number. All right, here we go. It is Matt Keys back under center now, and it's a 1st down and 10, and Brandon Stevens gets the call up the middle. Stevens picks up about 3. This is more of a grinding drive as we're used to seeing Plano in their offense.
Yeah, there's Connor Lee right there. He came up. He was the first one to make contact with Stevens. He held him up so that Darrell Rutherford could assist on the tackle. And that's one thing that's tough to do against Flower Mound is get that interior running game going now that they've switched to a 4-3 formation.
It should be noted the Plano Wildcats offense have done a good job of getting a body on Connor Lee to this point. 3:03 left here in the first quarter. Flower Mound leading Plano 7-3. Here is Keys. He's got Stevens to his right. Here's a handoff, Stevens. Stevens turning the corner, 15 down at the 10, inside the 5, and he is shoved out of bounds at about the 3-yard line. And so Stevens, again, he doesn't look like he's moving very fast, but he's just got very long strides and able to get to the corner quickly. And now we've got a player down for Flower Mound on the far side.
That's number 25, Zach Roberts. He was trying to make a tackle on Brandon Stevens. He's holding his, I want to say it's his knee or his ankle over there near that far sideline, but I think he got twisted up just a little bit with the juke move that Brandon Stevens put on him.
And that is certainly something we've seen happen quite a bit over the last 3 seasons. Brandon Stevens, of course, first-team All-District last year as a junior, and we mentioned this before, but he will play his college ball at Stanford next season, a Rivals 3-star recruit. So,
yeah, you see Dane Johnson out there to check on him, so it looks like, hopefully not, but it's something that could be serious.
Yeah, they're checking on the young man over there on the far side. It's just on the other side of the hash mark at about the 15-yard line.
There's too many bodies around. I was trying to see if he was holding his knee or his ankle or which leg it was on, but there are just simply too many bodies around him right now.
And we will see as it looks like
he's sitting up. I can
Roberts
see that.
is now sitting up, so that's a good sign.
I think they're working on that left leg. It looks to be his left leg from this distance, but I can't tell if it's his knee or his ankle.
I have just gotten a little Charlie horse. A lot of times you get some headgear on those thighs, and it can numb you up pretty good quickly. So we will see now. As it
not putting any weight on that left leg, but he is up and being moved off the field. So if we get any sort of update, we'll be sure to let you know.
And according to our depth chart here, it looks like Josh Waters is the backup at that outside linebacker spot. So we'll see if Waters makes his way out onto the field. And I do believe I see Waters out there.
Being helped off the field now is Zach Roberts, and he's an avid CrossFitter, according to his teammates and coaches. So he's in very good shape, and hopefully he'll be able to bounce back here soon because he provides some much-needed speed to that Flower Mound secondary as we'll watch and see how the trainers handle it on the near sideline.
I actually see Thomas Randall out there has made his way out to fill that position. So Thomas Randall, the senior, in. Here we go, 2:51 left. Here was going to be a toss sweep to Stevens, but flags are down. We get a whistle false start here on Plano.
And that's something you can't have, especially down this close to the goal line. And I didn't exactly see who moved. I believe it was on the right side of the line, either Peter Lorish or Gerald Wheeler.
Well, I believe there was a little defensive confusion there from Flower Mound trying to get set, and as they were kind of shifting around, I think it caused one of the Plano Wildcats to flinch. So
again, we can't see the play clocks here due to technical difficulties with the scoring system, but Plano doing a little bit of a sprint to the line as they come out of the huddle. I think it kind of caught Flower Mound off guard and caused one of their right side offensive linemen to move early.
First down and goal just inside the 10. Here is a direct snap to Stevens. Stevens inside the 5, down at about the 4. So Brandon Stevens, that'll bring up a second and goal from the 4-yard line. 2:38 and counting, and Plano looking to move fast. Here's Stevens again out of the Wildcat. Stevens, keeper, right up the gut, forcing his way towards the goal line. Picks up 3, just short of pay dirt, however, as he is down at the 1. So this will bring up a third and goal from the 1-yard line. And again, Plano looking like they're going to try and move quickly, but some substitutions being made here.
Yeah, Ryan McConnell, a senior wide receiver. He is big. He's 6'4", 181 pounds, 3 catches for 38 yards. So we'll see if Plano tries to go over the top to beat those Flower Mound linebackers who are starting to hunker down a little bit with the running of Stevens on each of the last 3 plays.
Last couple of plays, again, Darrell Rutherford doing a good job of preventing Plano to get into the end zone. Here we go. It's a toss. Bad toss back into the backfield. And so on 3rd and goal, a hold here from Flower Mound as the toss from Matt Keys did not hook up with his running back, Brandon Stevens. That's the second bad exchange we've seen between those two as Matt Keys just rolled out and just pitched it basically to nobody.
Yeah, it looked to just be a miscommunication. I think they may have been going for the LSU-style pitch straight back to the running back, and Stevens just wasn't there, and it's going to be another missed opportunity for the Wildcats as they send Blake Mazza back on the field to try a field goal.
Loss of 12 on the play. Mazza out to attempt this field goal with 1:17 and counting left in here in the first quarter. Here is the snap. The kick is away, and that kick is good. So with 1:10 left here in the first quarter of play, Flower Mound dodges a bullet as the Wildcats only able to capitalize with a field goal, and Flower Mound leading it 7-6. We'll be back right here for more first quarter action on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection? Our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your which made while you're on the way.
And the Plano Wildcats field goal has pulled them within 1. Right now, Flower Mound leading Plano 7-6 with 1:10 left here in the first quarter of play. I'm Eli Jordan along with Cody Barfink, and Cody, Flower Mound, again, like they did last week, just kind of taking the bend but don't break philosophy here early in the game, and they still have a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it worked for them in the first half last week, and it seems like it's working for them so far this week as you see Plano missing another. I think it's more about the mistakes that Plano's been making in this game. Another missed opportunity, and Jadon McCullough on that far side's got to be frustrated with how this game has gone thus far.
And here is the kickoff off the foot of Blake Mazza. It's taken by Coleman at about the 15, and Coleman boots it, but is able to fall right back down on top of it at the 13-yard line. So Coleman had a chance for a real decent return there and was unable to make the catch and secure the football. He has to just drop on it like a live grenade, and so the Jaguars will take over at their own 14-yard line.
This is a statement drive here for Flower Mound. You got to have no mistakes. You got to take some time off the clock, and if we can get 4 or 5 minutes into this second quarter and Flower Mound can add a touchdown to make it 14-6, that's going to be a major statement to make against this Plano team. Just
67 seconds left here in the first quarter of play. Jags leading at 7-6. Here's Newton, design keeper, has a convoy of blockers, able to get out past the 20, now out to the 24-yard line. Nice pickup on first down of about 9 yards. He was trucking along behind his center there, Balin Smith. And so a nice job by that offensive line to get out in front. Ty Neighbors also leading the way as well.
Yeah, this Flower Mound offensive line have really been unsung heroes in the first few weeks of the season. Newton had a brick wall in front of him, and he's able to get big yardage on first down.
2nd down and 1. Here is Newton again looking to keep. Cuts back. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage or close to the first down marker. We'll see where the official spot is, but a nifty run by Newton as he had nothing where he was intending to go and finds a hole back up the middle. And now we see Balin Smith, the center, loses his headgear. He's got to come out for a play. The chains will move, however. 1st down and 10. 27 seconds left here in the first quarter.
Another designed run play by Noble Newton, running right off of his center and his left guard. You see Balin Smith with his helmet knocked off, and he's alone again in the backfield on first down of a new set of chains.
Lemke in motion, now playing more like a tight end. Newton wants to throw. Looks over the middle, has a man. Great catch.
Another great throw by
Jack
Newton.
Sikora out at the 45-yard line. Another outstanding throw from the senior quarterback, Noble Newton, as we have really seen him zero in that accuracy over the last couple of weeks.
I like to call it the speed team coming into the game now for Flower Mound. Freddie Jackson, number 5. Hayden Hauser, number 1. And we'll see what Newton does here, but a great throw on a post route. He and Sikora are definitely on the same page so far in this game.
And the clock will wind down here on the first quarter of play. Flower Mound coming to the near sideline, and an outstanding first quarter of play it was. The Flower Mound Jaguars leading the Plano Wildcats 7-6 as they go looking for more when we return right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's N-E-E-N-E-E-S Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
We have reloaded the clock at 12 minutes as we get started in the second quarter here. It's the Flower Mound Jaguars leading the Plano Wildcats 7-6 after 1 in this important District 6-6A matchup. Cody, great first quarter in Flower Mound now as they flip the field, looking for more, and right before the end of the quarter there we saw an outstanding completion from senior quarterback Noble Newton to one of his favorite targets now, Jack Sikora.
Yeah, Noble Newton and Jack Sikora have really been on the same page, not just tonight, but the last couple of weeks. The first couple of weeks Noble Newton's favorite target seemed to be Brendan Alves, but Jack Sikora has gotten the lion's share of the catches against Boyd and against Plano so far tonight.
Empty backfield once again. Ball on the 45, middle of the field as we start the second quarter. Here is a completion now to the near side. Desmond Joy with the reception, and Joy picks up almost 5 yards on first down, brings up second down and maybe about 5.5 or so.
Yeah, Desmond Joy just running about a 4 or 5 yard curl route at about the 50-yard line. Newton threw to him just at about 2 steps into his drop, and Flower Mound may be on the move yet again here to start the second quarter.
Just 1 yard short of midfield are the Jaguars. 2nd down and 6 officially. Lemke in motion to the top side of the field. Empty backfield. Here's Newton. Throws near side in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Looking for Aaron Epping on the near side.
Epping running about the same kind of a route with the same distance as Desmond Joy the play before, right at the first down marker at the Plano 45. But he seemingly would lose his footing a little bit when he came back towards Newton, and the ball went in and out of his hands, and it'll be third down.
3rd and 6. Here is Newton. He's got 4 wide receivers out of the gun. Now looking to the sideline for the play call. Newton barking the commands to his offensive linemen. They have the one they want. Here is Newton now, 3-step drop, surveys, rolls, near side, looks, throws, almost intercepted in and out of the hands of the defensive back, and I believe that was Ja'Cory Sanders, the outside linebacker, that was able to get a hand on it.
Yeah, Sanders, it went right through his hands. It was almost intercepted. Newton trying to find Aaron Epping again. It looked like it was just a miscommunication between receiver and quarterback. I think he expected Epping to run a curl right at the sticks. Epping had a go route in mind, and they were lucky they didn't turn the ball over, and we see Josh Grant on to punt for the Jaguars.
4th down and 6. The snap is good. And here is the punt. It's away. It's taken at the 10-yard line. Flags are down everywhere.
That's going to be a block in the back against Plano.
I believe you're correct there. And Josh Grant did his best to try and draw a penalty after the punt was away. He did a little acting back at about the 40-yard line, hoping to draw some linen.
Yeah, it kind of shrugged his shoulders at the kicking coach.
Hey, I tried. Yeah, I tried.
Well, you know,
it's worth a shot.
Yeah, it was worth a shot, but they're going to get C.J. Wall for Plano for a block in the back, so the Wildcats are going to be backed way up inside their own 15 to start this next possession.
And just like we saw last week from Plano, or we didn't actually see it, but as we heard about last week from Plano, a couple of turnovers here tonight and shooting themselves in the foot with penalties. They had a big costly penalty on the long run from Stevens just a moment ago. That likely ends in points if likely ends in a touchdown if that doesn't get called back because of a late hit. And then, of course, you've got the block in the back here on the punt. So in the shadow of their own goalpost now, 1st down and 10, ball at the 4-yard line are the Plano Wildcats. Here is a handoff. Stevens out to the 10, 12-yard line, dragged down by guess who? Connor Lee on the near sideline. Nice pursuit there by Lee.
Definitely. We haven't called his name tonight as much as we did last week or the week before, just so far this season, but he's all over the field, just as always. He was on the far side of the field as an outside linebacker on that snap and was able to catch up with Brandon Stevens, who has 4.5 speed in the 40. So that shows you just how fast Connor Lee is playing in his linebacker position.
Well, I think it's safe to say as well, Cody, that you don't fly under the radar near as much as a sophomore after you've won the Dallas Morning News Defensive Player of the Week.
Definitely
so I'm guessing
not.
They're trying to get a body on him tonight. Here's Keys now, hands off to the backup running back. That's Lopaka Yarrow.
And here's Lee again. Lee, these last couple drives, we start to see Connor Lee imposing his will a little bit. The Plano offensive linemen are having increased difficulty getting a hat on a hat when it comes to number 44.
This brings up a critical 3rd down and 1 now with just about 10 minutes left here in our first half. The Flower Mound Jaguars leading the Plano Wildcats 7-6 in this a very, very critical 6-6A matchup for both of these teams.
See Lopaka Yoro go off the field for Plano. Number 84, Garrett Frederick, come on, and we'll see if they decide to abandon the running game here on 3rd and short.
It's Matt Keys. He's got running backs to either side of him. This is a handoff. Stevens up the middle, has enough for the 1st down.
Well, a heck of a tackle nonetheless by Robert Darnell. Stevens had a huge hole on the far side between his right guard, Lorish, and his right tackle, Gerald Wheeler. But Darnell just able to get a hand on his jersey and drag him down. Darnell is a very strong linebacker.
Should be noted we have not seen Zach Roberts come back out onto the field. He was injured during that last defensive possession.
I think he was taken into the training room. They were working on that left leg on the table down there, and I think he was taken to the room. So we don't have any new information on that as we speak.
Thomas Randall in there for the time being. 1st down and 10 now. Here is Keys. Keys wants to throw, loads up, fires, has a man wide open at midfield, and in and out of his hands, but should have probably been caught. And that was Garrett Frederick, I believe. And Frederick bobbled it at about the 45, and just as he was getting ready to secure the football, he was popped.
Popped by Anthony Smith, just number 22 for Flower Mound. He is a senior corner. He has 16 tackles and 1 pass breakup on the year. Make that 2, because that was most definitely an exclamation point on that pass.
It should be noted that Flower Mound did allow their season high in passing yards last week to Grant Ressmeyer and Boyd, 336 yards through the air for the Boyd Broncos last week. Despite coming away with a victory, they did allow over 300 passing yards. But Plano not team that is really known for its passing, and here they go back to the ground, and Stevens, nice spin move, but only picks up a couple as he was hit in the backfield before breaking a tackle or two, maybe picks up 3, and that'll bring up 3rd and 7.
Clatterbaugh finally brought him down, but Darrell Rutherford just absolutely got by Dawkins, the center, number 50, with almost no contact at all. He tripped up Stevens and slowed him down a little bit before the line of scrimmage, and it's a big 3rd down here for this Flower Mound defense.
8:35 left here, second quarter. Flower Mound leading Plano 7-6. 3rd down and 7. Ball on the 21-yard line of Plano. Here is Keys. Out of the gun, he's got Stevens to his right, 4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side. Keys wants to throw, looks to the far side, has his man caught. That's enough for a 1st down, so they went to the side with single coverage and found Carson Williams.
Williams had 4 catches for 50 yards last week, 7 catches for 102 yards overall. He's a 5'11", 172-pound junior. In a little bit of trouble on the far side for Anthony Smith as they will sub
Bailey Smith back in for him. Yeah, they've rotated Anthony Smith and Bailey Smith in and out throughout the season.
A lot of Smiths on this Flower Mound team.
A lot of smithing. Under 8 to play now here, second quarter. Jags 7, Wildcats 6. Here's a handoff. Brandon Stevens looking to find some room.
He fumbled
the ball, able to get right back on it, though. Nice play there by the Thomas Randall, the linebacker, who was subbed in for Zach Roberts when he went down with an injury.
We see another mishandling of the ball by Stevens, and I mean,
that was dangerous too, and that was all him. That wasn't a bum exchange. He just flat fumbled.
You start to see, Plano team had 8 turnovers last week against Allen. Allen does do that to a lot of people, but 2 turnovers already tonight, and you got to be a little bit uneasy if you're Coach McCullough for Plano.
Dangerously close to a 3rd there. 2nd down and 10. Ball on the 33-yard line of Plano. And here's Keys now. Excuse me, that's Stevens out of the Wildcat. We've seen that several times tonight. We saw it again there.
I'm not sure if that may be a response to the faulty quarterback center exchanges that we see Stevens handling the ball with an increased workload, but
certainly also could be just trying to get the ball in the hands of your best athlete the quickest way possible.
Definitely. But here on 3rd down, we see Stevens go off the field and Lopaka Yoro come in, so we'll see if we see Matt Keys put the ball in the air here on 3rd down.
And I would say to keep your eyes on Lopaka Yoro, but it's difficult at just 5'2".
Difficult. Very difficult.
Especially standing behind the 6'4" quarterback of Matt Keys. Here is Keys now, wants to throw. Goes far side, has his man. Ball is incomplete, and so a stand here from the Flower Mound defense as the punting unit will come out for the Wildcats.
The ball just sailed on Matt Keys there. It's a really athletic play by his receiver, Carson Williams, to try to make the catch, but it was just too tall for him to get a foot down. And we'll see what Flower Mound can do here, getting the ball back with 6:24 left to go in the first half.
Chandler Clatterbaugh and Hayden Hauser back deep to return the punt here. Caleb Getty back to punt it away, and we have a whistle now.
The back judge here is signaling delay of game against Plano. They don't have any way to see the play clock, so I don't know if I can. I think I'd be frustrated if I were them.
Slightly, yes. I'm sure they have contingencies for this kind of thing.
Legal substitutions, the call. I know that the back judge was definitely signaling delay of game, but they're going to call a legal substitution against Flower Mound here.
I believe I saw Fani Uzawahi coming back off the field. He came out and was not supposed to be there.
Got to watch for the fake as Brandon Stevens is the up back here.
That brings up a 4th and 4, and they will punt it away as it's Getty. Nice kick. Chandler Clatterbaugh calls for the fair catch at the 25-yard line and makes it, and so that is where Noble Newton will go back to work here. 6:18 left in the first half, and Flower Mound leading Plano 7-6.
That's what you want to see if you're Sam Harrison, the defensive coordinator. Plano takes a good bit of time off the clock, 3 or 4 minutes, but they cannot finish the drive. And Flower Mound's defense is really starting to bat down the hatches here. They had a bend but not break possessions on the first 2 series for the Wildcats, and they get Plano off the field quickly that last drive.
All right, here's Newton back to work. Has 4 wide receivers. He's got Lemke in basically as a tight end. We've seen that a good bit tonight. And here is an interception thrown over the middle, and that ball is picked off by Nick Melson. Melson down inside the 20, right around the 30-yard line before he is finally taken down by Noble Newton. So Newton wanting to throw on first down, air-mailed everybody, and Nick Melson comes away with the pick.
Ball just sailed on Noble Newton big time. He was trying to get Brendan Alves over the middle and tried to force it between two defenders. The ball just was about 2 yards beyond the grasp of Brendan Alves, and that's definitely not what you want to see if you're Scott Grant on the offensive coordinator.
So a pair of turnovers for each team now, with 6:06 left here in the second quarter. And Plano trailing 7-6. They take over. Ball officially marked on the 30-yard line on the far hash. Here's Stevens. He's out of the pistol, out of the Wildcat once again. Stevens picks up a couple.
There's Connor Lee again on the tackle. Only about 4 or 5 tackles. I say only 4 or 5 tackles here in the first half for Connor Lee, but that's been a small number for him in one half so far this year. He's starting to get to the ball a little bit faster, and that's not something you want to see if you're Plano's offense, especially Brandon Stevens or Matt Keys.
Eric Curl also in on that tackle as well. So second down now and 8. 5.5 left here in the second quarter. Now we see Keys back in there as the signal caller. He's got Stevens behind him. He will hand it off to the up back, and that's Terrence Raymond. We've seen that formation a couple of times here tonight. So Raymond with his second carry of the evening.
He was hit first by Hayden Brewer, number 50, the defensive end. The tackle was finished off a bit by a combination of Connor Lee and Chandler Clatterbaugh. And it's another big third down for Flower Mound's defense. As Plano, this is their MO on offense. They're chewing just enough yards off on first and second down to have a short third down, and that's just been the way their style of offense has been operating. It seems like the last 20 years.
Yeah, they are certainly not what you would call a big play style of offense. Here is Keys now. He's under center. They want to run the option with Stevens. Here's Keys, and he goes nowhere. Nice play, and that was
Robert Darnell.
Robert Darnell. Yeah, nice pursuit by Robert Darnell.
The Flower Mound linebacking core has been doing an excellent job these last few weeks. Darnell came all the way from the backside of the field, and I thought for a second that Matt Keys was going to try to force a pitch out to Brandon Stevens, and maybe it may have been another turnover for Plano. And
Stevens might have had a little room to run there, but like you said, Keys could be just a little bit gun shy, given the problems they've had exchanging the football here tonight. So on to kick the field goal is Blake Mazza. Mazza has a pair of them here tonight. This one will be about a 36-37 yarder. The kick is away. It looks like it has enough, and it is no good. Pushed it a little bit wide right. So Mazza, that's his first miss of the season, and so the Flower Mound Jaguars maintain a 1-point lead here with 3:56 left in the first half.
Yeah, Mazza, his first miss of any kind this year. He was 12 for 12 on extra points and 3 for 3 on field goals with the 2 that he's made so far tonight, but kicking into the wind just took a little bit too much of a toll on that ball from Mazza.
It looked like it had enough to get there and just pushed it a little bit wide of the upright over on the right side. And so with 3:56 left here, Flower Mound with plenty of time to try and go down and get some more points on the board. Noble Newton takes over, ball on the 23-yard line. Here's Newton. This is a designed run. Newton picks up just a couple, not much doing.
Not much doing. Great pursuit that time. I've been really impressed with the defensive tackle, Darian Foster. He's a big guy, 5'10", 212 pounds, 30 tackles so far on the season, 4 for loss. And he is doing an excellent job from his defensive end position against the tackles for Flower Mound, and was able to get Newton before he could do much of anything on first down.
Lemke now in the backfield behind Newton. Newton standing at the 19, Lemke at about the 21. Here is Lemke, and Lemke breaks a tackle at the 25, out past the 30, 35, 37 before he is wrestled down out of bounds. But a nice run there from Chase Lemke, by far the longest we've seen him have here in a couple of weeks.
Definitely, and I believe the linebackers for Plano were a little bit fooled on that play. Lemke took a step towards the inside, and then once he was given the ball by Noble Newton, started running back outside on a little bit of a counter play and was able to break free for a first down.
Pistol formation once again, Lemke behind Newton, 3 wide receivers. Here is Newton, play fake, wants it all, looking long, left side, wide open, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. At about the 35-yard line, I believe, was that a Clatterbaugh?
I think that's Dylan Tillotson.
Tillotson, yeah, that's right, 16 Dylan Tillotson, yep. Hard to see the number over there.
And he had him wide open running downfield. The ball just hung up in the air a little bit too long, and it let number 15, Nick Nelson, the senior free safety, get to him in just enough time to break it up.
2nd down and 10 now, as Newton and his troops all look to the near side for the play call. Now Lemke out of the backfield, puts his hand in the ground as a tight end. 4 wide receivers, empty backfield for Newton. Here's the snap. Newton rolling left, picks up a block. Now coming back towards the right, up the middle, and out towards the 50-yard line. Nifty run there by Noble Newton.
He's going to be right at the sticks.
Yeah, right at the first down marker. A little bit of an unfortunate spot there, as it looked like Newton was able to maybe get the first down. They don't give it to him, so 3rd down and short here with 2:51 left. Jags working fast. Here's Newton, keeper, makes a man miss and is able to pick up just enough for the first down. Nifty move there as he was able to elude the tackle of Blake Morris. Morris makes the tackle, but not in the backfield. He was able to get Newton down around the ankles.
Yeah, Blake Morris, if Newton didn't have that first stutter step right at the snap, Morris may have gotten him in the backfield for a loss, but that stutter step just enough to get Newton about 2 yards for a first down. And Flower Mound has their foot on the gas here a little bit.
Looking to capitalize here as they lead at 7-6 with 2:25 left. Here's Newton out of the gun, dancing up the middle, wants some more, and out to the 45-yard line of Plano. And so Noble Newton now just basically putting the team on his back as he is running his way down the field.
Definitely, as we see Brendan Alves and Jack Sikora come into the game for Flower Mound Newton. It seems like the last 2 or 3 runs he's made have not been designed quarterback runs, but the pressure breaks down a little bit, and he is great at extending drives with his feet.
Under 2 minutes to play now. Flower Mound not very urgent here. 2nd down and 5. Clock still moving. 1:47, 1:46. Here's Newton, takes the snap, looks left, has some pressure, throws, takes a hit, finds his man over the middle. Lemke at the 25. He's down at the 20, 15, 10, touchdown. Chase Lemke. He's into the end zone. It's a touchdown. What a play by Noble Newton. He stood in the pocket and got blasted from his blind side and was able to find his tight end / running back, Chase Lemke. And we saw them try that play earlier in the game, and Newton overthrew him. They went back to the well, and this time it worked.
That was just what I was thinking, Eli. It's a heck of a throw by Noble Newton, and even better to stand in the pocket when he was getting intense pressure. He got blasted just as soon as he let the ball go, and that was the play that they ran early on in the first quarter when the ball sailed on Lemke a little bit, and he missed him, but he did not miss him on that drive, and that is a huge touchdown just before halftime for the Jaguars.
Josh Grant tacks on the extra point. 1:36 left here in the first half. Flower Mound looking to extend their winning streak to 2 games. They lead it 14-6 over Plano. We'll be back to round out this second quarter right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeats.
1:36 left here in the first half of play for Neil E. Wilson Stadium. I'm Eli Jordan along with Cody Barfnick, and Cody, the Flower Mound Jaguars lead the Plano Wildcats 14-6 after a Noble Newton touchdown pass to Chase Lemke. And we mentioned this a bit ago, but yeah, Chase Lemke, they tried that play earlier in the game. Noble Newton just barely overthrew him. This time they go back to the well, and it works.
Well, one thing Plano definitely did not want to do coming into this game was make the same amount of mistakes as you see the kick go out of bounds there for Josh Grant. That's not something you want to see for Plano to take over with good field position before halftime. But one thing we just talked about in the break off air is that Plano seems like they're still reeling a little bit from last week. They just took a pounding at the hands of the Allen Eagles, and they've made those mistakes. They've turned the ball over a couple times, and that's not something that you want to see if you're Coach McCullough. But the one thing that Flower Mound's done extremely well is capitalize on those mistakes.
No question, and it's certainly not something that you do see often from a Jadon McCullough coach team. They're usually very fundamentally sound. That's something that they every coach preaches, obviously, but Jadon McCullough very, very much into doing the fundamental things right. And, really, Plano's always kind of played more of an old school brand of football where they want to run ball control. I think, we mentioned this before the game. They don't have a big inflatable that they run out of or anything before the game or any of that stuff. It's really kind of no-nonsense football that they play. And thus far tonight, they've just been very, very flat. They've managed to tack on a couple of field goals here, but they just haven't been able to punch it in whenever it mattered. They've had a couple of turnovers that have led the Jaguars points. And so, right now, Flower Mound playing with a lot of momentum that we saw last week. And then Plano just kind of playing, like they just got hit in the mouth, which they did last week against Allen.
Mm-hmm. And you can't count on it to continue because Plano is all about discipline.
No doubt. And so on first down, it is a throw from Matt Keys, and Matt Keys finds his receiver. Ball is complete to the near side. And that ball is caught there by Daniel Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez, a big guy, using a little bit of a height advantage that time on Devin Coleman. Rodriguez is 6'2", 171. Coleman's only about 5'9", so we'll see if that's something they continue to exploit.
Here's Keys now again, wants to throw, looking far side this time. Oh, almost picked off, and now it's caught. And this could go to the house, down 35-30. Wow, unbelievable. And who is that on the reception over there? I think it was Garrett Frederick.
Garrett Frederick, a good touchdown-saving tackle that time by Chandler Clatterbaugh. And Bailey Smith almost picked that ball off.
Bailey Smith went for it all and tried for the interception. He missed it, and it went right through his hands into the waiting arms of Garrett Frederick, who turned it into a big one. First down and 10 now for Plano.
It might have been 6 going the other way if it was Bailey Smith.
It was going to be, it was probably going to be 6 going one way. And now here's Keys over the middle, has his man. It's Frederick again. Touchdown, Plano. Wow, just like that. 2 plays. And so, 14-6 turns into 14-12 really, really fast here with the extra point upcoming.
The tables can turn in high school football, especially in District 6-6A, just like that. And the same thing kind of happened on Frederick on that play. Robert Darnell was right there, jumped a little bit too high to try to make another interception, and it went right into the waiting arms of Garrett Frederick.
And so Garrett Frederick, the 5'11", 175-pound senior wideout, just basically took the entire Plano Wildcats team and school and put it on his back there on those 2 plays. The extra point is away and good. We'll keep it right here with 46 seconds left here in the first half, and want to take a minute to thank Which Superior Sandwiches. Proudly supports Jaguar football. Visit Which off $24.99 in front of JCPenney for over 40 types of sandwiches customized by you with their unique bag ordering system. Which Superior Sandwiches. And so, 14-13 our score with 46 seconds left here in the first half. And we will see exactly what Flower Mound elects to do with this next offensive possession, if they're content with just taking the 1-point lead into the half, or if they're going to maybe try and get something done here with 46 seconds left.
I think the way this first half has gone, we'll probably see Coach Johnson just sit on it and go to halftime. You never know what they might do. Noble Newton already has 1 interception on a ball that sailed on him when they were trying to go long. And we saw what almost happened with Bailey Smith with a near interception on that last drive. So I believe Coach Johnson will play it safe here, but you never know what you might see from Flower Mound's offense.
Sure, absolutely. I think if it's me, I probably just take my 1-point lead to the house, and especially given what's happened over the last 45 seconds or so, where Plano just seemed to be down in the dumps, and all of a sudden you get a couple of plays, and they're within a point now. So we'll see what happens. Like Mazza on now to kick it away.
It's like Vince Lombardi used to say, 1 play can win a football game, and 1 play can definitely turn around a football game, and that may have just been it right there for Plano. Hopefully not.
Here is the kick taken by Devin Coleman. Coleman out to the 20, breaks a tackle out to the 27-yard line with 41 seconds left here in the second quarter, and we'll see exactly what Dane Johnson and his offensive coordinator elect to do here.
I see Scott Granum down there, the offensive coordinator's having a discussion with his entire offensive huddle, so I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see Flower Mound try something here right before halftime.
Well, it looks as if they're going to come out with 5 wide, so we'll see here. Ball officially on the 26, marked on the far hash. Newton and company moving from our left to our right. Here's a pass now to Joy over on the near side. Joy with the catch, but it goes nowhere. Maybe a loss of 2 yards.
Yeah, C.J. Wall absolutely blasted him behind the line of scrimmage, and
I'm not so sure if maybe Joy wasn't going to think about throwing that ball. Once he caught it, it was about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
It was, and he seemed like he was looking downfield a little bit before the ball was caught, but C.J. Wall was all over that one.
Just 11 seconds left now here in the first half. It looks like Newton will elect for one more play. Here's Newton. He throws, and once again finds Joy over on the far side. Joy out of bounds with 3 seconds left. And I'm thinking maybe just Joy is a very dynamic athlete. They're just trying to get the ball in his hands and see if maybe he can make a man or two miss and get upfield.
Yeah, he's a speedster. We've definitely seen his speed these first 4 weeks of the year. I think they're just putting the ball in his hands, trying to get something to happen, but it doesn't look like they're going to sit on it with 3 seconds left here.
3rd and 13, 3 ticks left. Flower Mound leads Plano 14-13. Here's Newton, takes a snap, and he will finally just take a knee and take this thing to halftime, and that's where we will go as well. We will be back with your halftime presentation. It's the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime show. When we return, the Flower Mound Jaguars leading the Plano Wildcats 14-13 at the half. You're listening to Flower Mound Football right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection, our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your which made while you're on the way.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear. Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
And welcome back to the Strategic Direct Solutions Halftime Show. I'm Eli Jordan, along with my broadcast partner for tonight and best color man in the business, Cody Barfnick. Cody, 14-13, Flower Mound leading Plano at halftime. And good first half of football for Flower Mound again this week. They do have a couple of turnovers. They're able to overcome that, but luckily for them, Plano with a couple of turnovers as well. And again, Flower Mound leading 14-13. They got a lot of momentum. We'll see what happens in the second half.
I think John Gruden is a little bit better at color, but I try my best. It was kind of the first half that we thought we would see from these two teams. I really do believe that. Flower Mound likes to grind it out a lot more than they did last year, and Plano has loved to grind it out for 50 years. So we knew what we were going to get from each of these teams, and to have it be 14-13 at halftime, I feel really good about the second half, especially after last week when it was 0-0 going into halftime. And I think this game is playing into Flower Mound's hands a little bit. We haven't seen quite the dominance on defense from Connor Lee as we've seen these last 4 weeks, but I think that may actually be a blessing in disguise if you're the Jaguars, because that opens up players like Robert Darnell, like Darrell Rutherford, like Devin Coleman even. He's had a really much better game in the secondary against Plano's receivers. Granted, they don't throw the ball much, but when they do, you have to have a guy who can stop it. And I think that guys like him, Clatterball, Connor Lee, Robert Darnell, and Darrell Rutherford, and even Hayden Brewer to an extent, he's making some really good tackles as well. So I've been really impressed with what I've seen with Flower Mound's defense so far, and their offense has performed just up to par with these last 4 weeks as well. And they're in a game with another pretty good team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, also Zach Roberts, he leaves with an injury earlier in the game. Then we see Thomas Randall come out there, the senior, and he's able to make some plays defensively as well for Flower Mound. But Plano, really, if you take away that one last possession there where they basically go 3 plays and 85 yards, one of which was a play that Bailey Smith really thought he could make. He goes for the interception, and sometimes you go for broke and it doesn't work out for you. That's what Bailey Smith does. The ball right to Garrett Frederick, who's behind Bailey Smith, and then Frederick was able to pick up big yardage on that one. He then scores on the next play to make it 14-13. If you take away those couple of plays, Flower Mound's really dominated this game.
Yeah, I think they really have. And one thing that I want to say this, we both said this exact same thing at halftime of the Boyd game last week. Each of these teams is going to have to eliminate the mistakes in the second half. Plano turned the ball over twice. They're very, very lucky it wasn't 3 or 4 times. Flower Mound turned the ball over twice in the first half. Neither team can do that in the second half if they want to win this game. You've got to play flawless football. I think Flower Mound, they as long as they have the lead at halftime, or if the game was tied, or if they had the lead, I think they feel really good going into the locker room, because the second half plays right into their hands. Plano actually gets the ball coming out of halftime, but Sam Harrison's defense for Flower Mound has really been their bread and butter. They've leaned on them all year, and we've seen Noble Newton make more plays with his feet so far this week, definitely a lot more than he did last week. So I think this is playing into Flower Mound's hands, but each team has to eliminate the mistakes in the second half.
Yeah, and obviously that can be said week in and week out. Special teams mistakes, fumbles, penalties, interceptions. These are all things that'll lose you a football game if you're not careful. If you lose the turnover battle, more often than not, you're not going to win the football game. But, Flower Mound tonight, they've played very, very well in the first half. Good enough to have a 14-13 lead. And if you're a Flower Mound Jaguars fan, you have to really be impressed with not only what they did last week, but coming out this week as well, and maybe not firing on all cylinders like they did last week and still able to have a 14-13 lead. Let's get you a scoring summary here quickly. The scoring started with a Plano field goal. It was a Blake Mazza 44-yarder. That made it 3-0 for the Wildcats. Flower Mound tacks on a touchdown. It's a Jack Sikora 14-yard touchdown reception from Noble Newton. The Josh Grant kick is good. That made it 7-3 Flower Mound. With 1:10 left in the first quarter, another Blake Mazza field goal for the Wildcats made it a 7-6 ball game. Then Chase Lemke, a 45-yard touchdown reception from Noble Newton. Josh Grant tacks on the PAT, and that makes it a 14-6 game. And then with 46 seconds left in the first half, Garrett Frederick, a 23-yard touchdown catch from Matt Keys, and that's where we stand 14-13 after the Blake Mazza kick was up and good. So 14-13 our score here at the half. The halftime presentation is underway out on the field, and our Strategic Direct Solutions halftime presentation is underway as well. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring you some team stats and get you some scoring updates from around District 6A, as well as some other scores from around the area. We'll do all that here in just about 2 minutes right here on the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime presentation on Champion Sports Radio.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
It is a 14-13 Flower Mound lead here tonight over the Plano Wildcats in this critical District 6-6A matchup. Welcome back to the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime presentation. I'm Eli Jordan. Cody Barfnick joining me in the broadcast booth here tonight. The bands are out on the field giving their halftime performances. Got about 15 minutes or so until we get the second half of this one underway. And Cody, I'm going to throw it over to you, man. Give us some statistics from that first half of play.
It was a pretty even first half as we see the Wildcat band from Plano High School on the field right now. You can hear them in your computer as well. Flower Mound had 160 total yards to Plano's 201. Each team had 8 first downs. The only disparaging stat in the entire rundown is the running game, where Plano loves to run the football. They've got 23 rushes for 109 yards, good for 4.7 per carry, to Flower Mound's 13 rushes for 49 yards. Noble Newton is 9 of 15 for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns, and without that one interception, you got to believe that it may be a 21-13 game at halftime for the Jaguars right now. Turnovers, that's been a bit of a problem with each of these teams, as Plano has thrown 1 interception and fumbled the ball 3 times, losing 1, and this is a team that has turned the ball over 10 times in the last 8 quarters of play, and that is not something. That is a crooked number when it comes to... That is a
recipe for disaster, is what that is.
That is a recipe, especially when it gets a team like... That's not like... I'm not going to even put it down to a team. It gets any team that's a recipe for disaster. 111 passing yards for Flower Mound, 92 for Plano, as we've seen a very balanced attack for each team so far. Rushing for Flower Mound, Noble Newton leads it, 9 carries for 43 yards. Brandon Stevens for Plano, already 16 carries for 109 yards, good for 6.8 per carry. And most of that came on 1 run near the end of the second quarter when he got about 50 or 60 yards on 1 carry. But we've seen him operate out of the Wildcat a great bit. And Chase Lemke for Flower Mound adding 1 for 13, and that's all the rushing yards Flower Mound has to speak of. The first couple of weeks of the season, we saw Noble Newton spread the ball around to as many different receivers as possible. Tonight, only 4 receivers had catches in the first half. Jack Sikora, the leading receiver for the Jaguars, he's got 3 catches for 49 yards and a touchdown. Chase Lemke, the fullback, 2 catches for 46 and a touchdown. Dylan Gorlick, 1 catch for 13, and Desmond Joy, 3 catches for 3 yards. Receiving for Plano, we had Garrett Frederick with those 2 huge catches, including the touchdown right before the end of the first half. 3 catches for 75 yards and a score for him. 1 catch for 11 yards for Carson Williams, and 1 catch for 6 yards for Plano, as we've seen a very balanced attack for both teams. And Eli, I don't think it'll be any different in the second half.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks for the stats update there, Cody. And yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I really feel like things are really coming together for Flower Mound to put together their second win in a row here. I mean, you know, Plano has not played their best football over the last couple of weeks. I mean, obviously, Allen can make just about any program look like a peewee team, quite frankly. I mean, Allen is just that good. You know, I mean, they've won 3 straight state titles. I mean, that's a very, very good program. And so losing to them is certainly nothing to be ashamed of. It's happened to the last 48 teams they've played. But Plano, you know, they haven't played their best football, and starting out here tonight, they haven't played their best football again. But I don't think Flower Mound's played their best football tonight here either.
I don't think so either.
So, I mean, I really feel like this is a couple of teams that are very, very evenly matched. I think we're in for a very fun second half as the Jaguars lead it 14-13. We've got some scores for you whenever we come back from the break, including what's shaping up to maybe be a wild one, Cody, between Allen and Flower Mound Marcus. We'll get you updated on that one whenever we come back from our break. It's the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime presentation. Right now, it's the Flower Mound Jaguars 14 and the Plano Wildcats 13. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguars football on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeats.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection, our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite Which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing Which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your Which made while you're on the way.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
And welcome back to Neil E. Wilson Stadium here on the campus of the Flower Mound High School in Flower Mound, Texas. I'm Eli Jordan. My broadcast partner tonight alongside me in the booth is Cody Barfnick. And Cody, we've got a 14-13 Flower Mound lead over the Plano Wildcats with about 6.5 minutes left until we get the second half underway. And this is the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime presentation. And a lot of other 6A games going on around the area tonight, including a huge matchup between Allen and Flower Mound Marcus, and we're going to get you that score here in just a minute. Cody, take it away. Why don't you give us some of the action from around the area?
Yeah, District 6A is a gauntlet every week, and it's been no different so far this week. As before the game started, we talked about how Plano West has been down a little bit this year without Soso Jamabo, and when you lose a player like that, especially bringing in a new coaching staff, any team has a chance at being down, but they actually lead the McKinney-Boyd Broncos 24-20. They hit a last-second field goal right before halftime, so that's going to be that's tough for Boyd. I mean, they've had a tough break so far this season, and if they come up short to Plano West, that's really, really going to open up that last playoff spot in District 6A.
You bet.
And we go over to Carrollton at Hawk Stadium at Hebron High School. The Louisville Fighting Farmers actually lead the Hebron Hawks 14-7 at halftime. Another game that will really open things up in this district if Louisville can take down Hebron tonight. Before the game, the big one we talked about was the Marcus Marauders taking on the Allen Eagles at Eagle Stadium, and we have a potential shocker in the mix as Allen leads Marcus only 28-21 at halftime.
It's amazing that whenever Marcus trails by 7 at half, and we consider that a potential shocker in the making.
Yeah.
They're within a touchdown at halftime of Allen, but certainly Marcus definitely hanging around. So, I mean, we'll keep our eyes peeled on that one. Of course, Allen does have the tendency to kind of blow people away in the second half. So
definitely, they led Plano 13-0 at halftime last week, and ended up being 65-0.
Well,
so
Plano did turn it over like it was a bodily function in that second half, so that didn't
Yes.
help their cause. But again, Allen, a team that does have a tendency to kind of pull away late, so we'll keep our eyes on that one. But certainly, right now, Marcus making it a game.
definitely 28-21. Allen is that score, and it just seems, I don't know. I just get that feeling that it may just be time. I don't know why. It's just a gut feeling I have. It may be time for Allen to finally lose a game. And as we said, I think that game is for the District 6-6A championship. I mean, you never know what might happen. This is a wild district, but I think that is for the district championship. And that's what's happening in District 6-6A, and a little bit more of what's happening in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. South Lake Carroll traveling all the way to Shotwell Stadium in Abilene to take on the Abilene Eagles. They lead Abilene 28-17 at halftime. The Coppell Cowboys at Pennington Field in Bedford lead the Bell Raiders 28-10. And South Grand Prairie and Midlothian at the Gopher Warrior Bowl in Grand Prairie are tied at 21. The DeSoto Eagles lead the Grand Prairie High School Gophers 22-3. And the Mansfield Tigers lead 27-14 at halftime over Duncanville. So a lot of action going on in District 6-6A, a lot of action going on in DFW, and we'll make sure to keep an eye on that Allen and Marcus score the rest of the way for you.
No doubt. And, of course, Plano East, they are idle this week. So
Plano East is idle.
A Plano East score for you. So that is some scores from around the area. Here, it is a 14-13 lead for Flower Mound over the Plano Wildcats. That will wrap up the Strategic Direct Solutions halftime show. Strategic Direct Solutions, proud to be a senior-level sponsor of Flower Mound Jaguars football. SDS is a staffing partner that provides great talent to companies all across North America. Visit them on the web at sdsllc.com to learn more. Assure you have the best players and the best positions on your team. Contact SDS today or check them out at sdsllc.com to learn more. Got about 2.5 minutes to go until we get this one back underway. We're going to take one final quick break here to take a breather. When we come back, we'll get the second half to you. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguars football right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection, our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your which made while you're on the way.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/championsportsradio and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/championsportsradio. Your home for championship social media.
welcome back to Flower Mound Jaguars football here on ChampionSportsRadio.com. We're live from Neal E. Wilson Stadium on the campus of Flower Mound High School in Flower Mound, Texas. I'm Eli Jordan. Cody Barfnick joining me tonight in the broadcast booth is my color analyst, and it is a 14-13 lead, Cody. The Flower Mound Jaguars over the Plano Wildcats in this 6-6A matchup as we're about ready to get the second half underway.
And I think only a minute, 16 seconds. Well, they've now stopped it. I was just going to say this halftime show may run a little bit long here.
We've got filler for days, Cody. Filler for days.
We definitely do. As I see the eggs and clocks and many things still on the field for the Flower Mound
There was something
band.
going on down there in French. They had a big banner that said like "C'est la vie, la saxophone" or something. It's something about a saxophone. I asked you to translate it. You couldn't help me.
I'm a bad color analyst for not knowing French.
Not knowing French.
Yeah, but I think in the second half, getting back to football is. And we sound like a broken record every week saying this, but I think each of these teams have to stick true to their guns, and they've got to play flawless football in the second half. You can't afford many mistakes, if any, in the fourth quarter against any team. It doesn't matter who you play. So, if I'm Noble Newton, I stay poised in the pocket. He did that early on. Had the one interception that sailed on him a little bit. He can't try to force passes. That's what he tried to do to Alves on the first half, and he came up short in one attempt, and who knows, that could be an 8-point lead instead of a 1-point lead at halftime. And I think it's don't try to do too much as well. Bailey Smith had an amazing chance to make a huge play on the ball near the end of the second half, but try to do too much against a receiver that's about 6 inches taller than he is. So I think just stick to your basics. You know Plano's going to stick to their basics. They've been doing it forever. Flower Mound needs to just relax, stick to the basics, not try to do too much, and play mistake-free football in the second half. Because besides that last drive before halftime, Flower Mound's really dominated this game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, Flower Mound has definitely played well tonight. Again, I had a couple of turnovers, but I mean, turnovers are something that happen at the high school level. They happen at the NFL level. I mean, turning the ball over is going to happen from time to time. It's just a matter of how you respond to those turnovers. And, what you don't want to do is turn the ball over and then immediately allow your opponent to go down and capitalize on those turnovers. And so far tonight, Flower Mound really hasn't allowed them to capitalize on the turnovers. On the other hand, Plano, when they've turned the ball over, Flower Mound has been able to capitalize on that a little bit. And so, right now, that's the difference in the game. That's the reason that Flower Mound leads this game 14-13 rather than it being 21-14 Plano or 28-7 Plano or, so it's one of those things where both of these teams I feel like are very evenly matched. We saw that in the first half. That's the reason, again, we have a very close score here. So, again, you mentioned it. Neither one of these teams needs to abandon what they did in the first half. They both played well enough to win the ball game if they continue to do what they've done. Plano especially, you need to get Brandon Stevens going. He had the one long run there in the first half. You take away that long run, and Stevens really didn't do a whole heck of a lot. But, on the other hand, if you're Flower Mound, they came out. They didn't run the ball a lot in the first half. If they did, it was a designed quarterback run from Noble Newton, which we saw that basically the entire second half of their victory last week. And he's been good about spreading the ball around. Again, he had a couple of miscues throwing the football. He threw the interception, and then he missed Chase Lemke wide open over the middle, a pass that he made up for later in the game by basically throwing the exact same pattern and hooking up with Lemke for a long touchdown. So Newton's done a good job in the first half. He hasn't been exceptional like he was last week, but they're not going to be exceptional every single week, week in and week out. They're not Kyler Murray.
No.
It's hard to find a quarterback at this level that's going to be just unbelievable week in and week out and week in and week out. And Noble Newton's certainly done a fine job here tonight, as has Matt Keys, his counterpart there for the Plano Wildcats. And Brandon Stevens has looked solid. This defense has looked good. For Flower Mound, you've got Robert Darnell, who's been a little bit of an unsung hero here in this first half. We've talked about Connor Lee so much over the last few weeks. I really feel like that we've kind of overshadowed Robert Darnell just a little bit. And Darnell, a senior linebacker, he's been very, very good this year. So
he definitely has, and I think another unsung hero unit, if you will, for the Jaguars has been their offensive line. We haven't really given them their justice so far these first 4 weeks, but Duke Carrillo, Ty Neighbors, Balin Smith, Blake Watson, and Carter Severson, they've been doing a really good job. There's a reason that Noble Newton can make plays with his feet, and that's because the protection has been there. And we haven't necessarily seen the yardage that we would like to see from Ifeanyi Uzoehi and Chase Lemke at running back as far as handoffs go. But there's a reason that Newton has had so many rushing yards this year, and he's already been able to surpass his rushing yards from last season total in the first 4 weeks, and that's because of the very good play of this offensive line, and I think that's going to continue here in the second half and for the rest of the season.
Well, hopefully so. It's a 14-13 game. Flower Mound leading the Plano Wildcats. It's a District 6A matchup. We got 12 minutes back on the clock here. Both the teams are back out on the field. Of course, the halftime presentation ran just a little bit long, so gave us an opportunity to really kind of break down the second half for you. And now the teams are headed back out onto the field, and it will be the Plano Wildcats getting the football. They won the toss to start the game and deferred, so they will receive from the north end zone, which would be from our left to our right. It will be Josh Grant to kick it away from the 40-yard line. He will be kicking from the south back to the north. Not much wind at this point. It was a breezy afternoon here in Flower Mound, but the winds have pretty much died. No threat of any kind of weather or anything for the second half. It's beautiful skies and nice weather, so shouldn't have any problem there for the second half. As Grant ready to kick it away now, it's Brandon Stevens and Lepaka Yarrow back for the Wildcats. And here is Grant now, the junior. He's been rock solid all year. And here is the kick. It is end over end. It will be Yarrow from the goal line, and now takes a knee.
And that was close.
That was close.
You're right. I didn't think he fielded that ball in the end zone. I thought he was standing at the one and took a knee in the end zone. I thought for a second. That's why I immediately looked at the official. And I thought if they call this a safety, that'll be a disaster for Plano to start this half.
No questions. Yarrow, he was basically about straddling the goal line whenever he caught it. He almost took about a half step back into the end zone to take a knee, which you cannot do, buddy.
No, if this were college or the NFL, that would have been reviewed. And I think
who knows? How that could have turned out. But either way, ball at the 25 to start for the Wildcats here, as it will be Matt Keys out of the gun. He's got Stevens to his left, and we have a whistle now, and it is a false start on the Wildcats, and certainly not the way you want to start the second half.
I think they're going to get number 66, Kadarius Smith, 6'3", 280-pound senior left tackle. He is an SMU commit, going to play with Coach Morris, but a little bit too antsy on that play.
280-pounder. That's a big boy over there.
We're happy to say the play clocks and the game clocks are functioning to full capacity here in the second half, it appears.
Absolutely. I guess they got that fuse changed at halftime. And so, from the 15-yard line now, or 20-yard line, I should say, here is Plano, and it's a delayed handoff. Stevens trying to break a tackle, could not escape Connor Lee's grasp, and so
not many people can.
That is true. So a gain of 2 for Stevens there, gets almost back to the original line of scrimmage, a couple yards short of it.
There's one play, one tackle here in the second half for Connor Lee. We'll have to keep a running total to see if he starts the second half this week like he started the first half last week.
I can save you some time. He's going to have a lot.
Yep. A little bit of a delayed handoff there to Brandon Stevens. He's not lined up in the Wildcat position to start the second half, but I'm sure we'll see a heavy dose of it here so far.
4 wide receivers. It's Keys out of the gun. He's got Stevens to his left. Keys rolling, looking, throws, has his man. And just a couple yards short of the first down, it's Carson Williams.
A little bit of just about a 10 to 12 yard go and then an in route for Carson Williams. He's only about 2 yards. He's almost right at the stick, so this will be a big third down statement for the Flower Mound defense if they can get off the field here to start the first half, start the second half. Rather, this is an important possession for Plano to start the second half, especially the way the end of the first half went for him.
Third and about 1.5 yards. Here's Stevens, near side, trying to find room, has some, out past the 40. Look out, 45-50. 45-40, trying to outrun defenders. He's at the 30, 20. I don't think anyone's going to catch him. Down inside the 10, looking for the pylon. Did he get it?
He did.
And he did. Touchdown, Brandon Stevens, as Stevens erupts for a long one on 3rd down and 2. And again, you can see why Stevens so coveted by that Stanford Cardinal program, as he just rips off a long one there on a 3rd and short.
Yeah, just your basic dive handoff to the or alley handoff to the outside. He goes around his tight end, Gets good blocking up front from his offensive line, a really good size offensive line for the Plano Wildcats, and nobody for Flower Mound can compete with his speed off of the edge on defense, and not very many people can in District 6-6A either.
Mazza on for the extra point now, as it's now a 19-14 Plano lead over Flower Mound. Here is the kick. It's away, and it is good. So 20-14 our score with just a minute and a half gone here in the second half of play. Brandon Stevens straps that Plano Wildcats offense on his back and gives them a 20-14 lead. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Flower Mound Jaguars football right here on Champion Sports Radio.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500 extension 305.
And we are back as the Plano Wildcats kick it away. Hayden Hauser takes the ball about 2 yards deep. He will bring it out. Hauser out to the 20. He is stuck there. And so Hayden Hauser and Lapacayaro pop each other at about the 20-yard line, and Hauser gets the ball near side, about 20 or 21 or so. We'll see where they officially mark it, down at the 22, and so that is where Noble Newton and Flower Mound will go to work for their first possession of the second half, now trailing 20-14 after a long Brandon Stevens touchdown.
This is a really huge possession for Flower Mound because it's how do you respond after a lightning strike touchdown for Plano when you thought you were going to get him off the field, and we'll see what Newton does with it here.
Here is Newton, low snap. He handles it, now throws. Far side, has his man. That's Brendan Alves. First time we've called his name tonight. And Alves close to moving the chains on first down.
I think he'll be maybe just half a yard short. Well,
it's a couple yards short. Yeah, shoved out of bounds. Hard to see on that far sideline, but it's picks up about 7.5 or so on first down, so bring up maybe a 2nd and 3.
That's more of what we thought we would see from Brendan Alves, catching a little bubble screen out in the alley, getting about 7 yards on first down, and we'll see if Newton continues to go to him here on this drive.
Ball on the 24. Here's Newton, designed keeper, quarterback draw. Newton, he is leveled at the line of scrimmage. Little too much stutter stepping in the hole there for Noble Newton, and he takes one in the ear hole. He pops right back up, though, as he was absolutely brutalized by one of those Plano defensive ends.
Yeah, he had Byron Tate, the defensive end, right in his face from the get-go. Made a little stutter step to avoid him, but could not avoid linebacker Morris coming from the far side. Just never really saw him. Got blindsided on that play. I'd be shaking the cobwebs out if I were him, as that was a big-time hit.
I would be in traction. Here is Newton now out of the gun. Seems to be fine. Rolling left. Now wants to keep. Tucks it and dragged down from behind. Nice pursuit play from behind there. That is number 21. And a good play there, Ja'Cory Sanders. And so Sanders able to come from behind and drag down Noble Newton. A quick 3 and out here as the punt team is on for Flower Mound on 4th and 2.
Yeah, and you can start to feel just a little bit of a shift in momentum, especially how the Plano defense attacked that drive, attacked the ball. Good coverage downfield by the Plano secondary forced Newton to try to roll out of the pocket a little bit, and the defense had a blanket on him from the get-go.
Here is Grant, puts the foot to it, ball bouncing at about the 43 and then fielded at the 35, and that is where Plano will go back to work here.
Yeah, we'll see if they continue to ride that Brandon Stevens horse, as I see Lopacayaro on the field. I don't see Brandon Stevens just yet, so we'll see what the Wildcats elect to do to start this next possession.
First down and 10, ball on their own 35-yard line as Plano takes over. They're leading 20-14 with 8:54 left here in the third quarter. Big game for both of these teams in district play. Flower Mound coming off a victory last week, their first in over a year. Plano, of course, fed to Allen last week as they lose that one 65-0. Ball is set now, far hash mark, 35-yard line officially. It is Matt Keys out of the gun. He's got Yarrow to his right. Keys wants to throw, looks up top, has a man. Ball a little bit underthrown, but I believe it's caught. What a catch. Wow. What a catch. Whoa, and that is Carson Williams. Is the ball a bit underthrown, and it was tipped by the defender. Bounced up into the air, and Williams caught it almost as he was flat on his back on the turf. What a catch by Carson Williams, and a big gain for Plano, and they are starting to wake up here offensively.
Yeah, number 22 for Flower Mound, Anthony Smith, was all over Carson Williams. Got a hand on the ball right as it got there, and I thought it was going to be knocked away, but that was a good play by Williams to keep his eyes on it and give Plano a first down. And after one play, they're already deep inside Flower Mound territory.
Ball officially on the Flower Mound 27, 8:24 left here, third quarter. Wildcats leading 20-14. Here is Stevens now looking to turn the corner, has the 25 before he's shoved out of bounds. Clatterbaugh in there on the tackle.
Yeah, a good shoestring tackle that time by Chandler Clatterbaugh. About maybe 3-4 yards for Brandon Stevens, but it could have been a lot more if Clatterbaugh wouldn't have been there to make that shoestring tackle at about the 28-yard line. 24, rather.
Brandon Stevens now up to 18 carries for 179 yards on the night, averaging almost 10 yards per attempt.
That's pretty stellar.
That's not bad. Here is Keys now out of the gun. He's got Stevens to his right, fakes to Stevens. Stevens picks up the blitz. Here's Keys, wants to throw, has it. Has his man, touchdown. It's Carson Williams again, I believe. And that's a touchdown, Plano, and they now lead it 26-14 as they have come out on fire here in the second half.
Yeah, Plano just has been riding their momentum that they garnered right near the end of the second quarter. Another great throw by Matt Keys. He split two defenders and an even better catch. Carson Williams, it's 2 catches in a row for him. Just falling away on his back between defenders for the touchdown, and Plano is starting to open this thing up here in the second half.
Yeah, just about 4 minutes in, and Plano already 2 touchdowns on the board, and now 2 extra points as well as they lead it 27-14 after trailing 14-13 at the start of the third. And we'll keep it right here. Want to make sure that you know all about Mellow Mushroom. Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom now open in Flower Mound on 1171, just east of Long Prairie Road. Athlete tested, coach approved, and Eli approved as well, Connor. Cody, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
Mellow Mushroom is Connor approved, too.
Okay, fair enough, yeah. We've talked so much about Connor Lee over the last few weeks, I wanted to call you Connor for some reason.
Hey, with the way he plays, you can call me Connor all you want to.
It would be nice to go back to being a stud sophomore linebacker, wouldn't it?
Yeah, never really was one, but, the shoe fits, I guess.
Oh, I'm just a stud anything sophomore. How about that?
That'd be good.
Basketball, football, baseball. Getting old is
tough.
Not for the weary. And so the Wildcats now leading 27-14 with 8:09 left here in the third quarter as they have come out and punched 2 touchdowns in a hurry. One a Brandon Stevens long run, and then this last one a Carson Williams touchdown reception from Matt Keys. And so Blake Mazza will kick it away now as the Wildcats have opened up a 27-14 lead. Here is the kick. Hayden Hauser will take it at the goal line and take a knee. And so out to the 25 comes Noble Newton.
Yeah, I think Hauser was trying to wait to see if that ball would go out of bounds, and that would have been a huge break for Flower Mound, but unfortunately did not work out that way, and Flower Mound will take over at their own 25-yard line, and this has got to be a big-time possession for Noble Newton. I think at this point, with the momentum and the freight train that's going downhill with the Plano logo painted on the side of it, you really need to get some of those points back here, especially with 8 minutes left in the third quarter.
Certainly would be nice if they could take a little time off the clock and punch one in. Here is Newton now. It's a design keeper, and not much blocking help there out in front.
And more helmet trouble from Balin Smith. He'll have to come off for a play.
Thomas Venegas in on the tackle there as he was able to slide by any would-be blockers, and we have a man down now for Flower Mound.
I think that's number 65. I think that's Duke Carrillo, the left tackle, who's down.
That is Carrillo, and they are looking at Carrillo's right ankle area.
He seems to be in a lot of pain. He's really writhing around hard on the ground there. I think they're checking out the right ankle, right shin
Well,
area.
yeah, it looks like the right ankle they're looking at there. Of course, earlier in the game, we saw Zach Roberts, the senior outside linebacker. He had to come off, and we've yet to see him return.
Yeah, we've yet to see him in return. I think if he's on the sideline at all, he's probably in street clothes. I don't see a number 25 down there, and Carrillo doesn't look like he's putting any weight, very much weight, if any at all, on that right shin now.
They put a little weight on it. He seems to be making his way to the sidelines okay. Carrillo, the junior, he will step off.
That'd be a big loss for this Flower Mound offensive line. I really hope Duke Carrillo is okay and he can return in just maybe a few plays, hopefully, if he just took a hard shot on that right shin area.
We saw Eric Curl subbing in there. Eric Curl also plays on the defensive side of the football as a defensive tackle, so Curl takes over for Carrillo at that left tackle position. 2nd down and 9 now. Play resumes. Under 8 minutes to play. Here's Newton. Hands off to Lemke. Lemke goes nowhere, so this will bring up a huge 3rd down and about 7 or 8 now for Flower Mound and the Jaguars offense.
It seems like so far in this half, maybe Newton has been a little bit gun shy. They really haven't pulled the trigger on anything downfield. They've tried to run, and that Plano defense they're a little jacked, and it seems like they're really starting to impose their will on this Flower Mound offensive line, especially without Carrillo.
They have tightened down the vise significantly. Here's Newton now out of the gun, wants to roll, has nothing downfield, has to turn it up with his feet inside the 40, and I believe, he steps out of bounds just shy of the 40 to about the 37, but I believe that's enough for a 1st down.
It will give him a 1st down, and he got a heck of a block on the near sideline from Jack Sikora right at the sticks. Absolutely leveled C.J. Wall, the cornerback for Plano, and was able to let Newton sneak by him and pick up a big 1st down for Flower Mound, and we'll see if they can capitalize on the new set of downs.
1st down 10, ball officially marked on the Flower Mound 37-yard line, 7:20 to go. Noble Newton out of the gun, empty backfield. The Jags working from our right to our left. Here's Newton, throws out of the backfield, has his receiver. It's Brendan Alves. Alves picks up 7 hard yards on 1st down. So Alves, as we've seen several times this year, used more or less kind of as a wide receiver screen, and now Alves will come off for Hayden Hauser.
Yeah, speed on the field in the form of Freddie Jackson, Desmond Joy, Hayden Hauser, and Aaron Epping. For the Jaguars, Chase Lemke, the big running back, is deep. And that bubble screen worked out really well on 1st down for Noble Newton and Brendan Alves.
Pistol formation, 2nd and 2, play fake. Lemke now throwing near side, has his man caught, Desmond Joy. Joy moves the chains, and he is into Plano territory at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, Joy, C.J. Wall on the bottom of the field, near side of the field. Him and Garrett Frederick and Aaron Regis are having a little bit of a trouble with Tomas Venegas as well for Plano. They're having a little bit of trouble controlling Desmond Joy and these fresh legs for Flower Mound. As you see, Hayden Hauser looks like he's uncovered in the slot on the top of the field.
Here's Newton. Newton looked that way, and now Hauser covered up. Newton reverses field, wants to run, picks up 3 yards or so before he is dragged down. So Noble Newton, everybody covered up by a defender, so Newton scrambles with the feet, able to make a little bit out of it. 2nd down and 8 with now under 6 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter, and Plano leading Flower Mound 27-14.
I think Newton had the same idea as we did. He saw Hauser a little bit uncovered, but the last second a safety cheated up to put a blanket over that slot receiver spot.
Uzawahi in the game now as Newton wants to throw, now will keep, stiff arms a defender at the 40. And close to the 1st down marker. We've got one official that has it almost on the marker, and then another official that has it about a yard short. We'll see which one they go with.
They bring in the power back Lemke. It'll be interesting to see if they run behind their stout offensive line with
should be noted,
Balin Smith.
Duke Carrillo is back out there at left tackle. 3rd down and 1 now. And it's Lemke out of the pistol.
I want to see if Newton can catch the Plano defensive line napping. Whenever he's checked over to the sideline, we've had some jumping around going on. I want to see if they snap it at some point and catch him off guard.
Here is Newton, empty backfield now as Limke goes in motion. Here's the throw, caught. It's Dylan Tillotson, and no, incomplete.
Wow, incomplete.
Yeah, I believe the defender got in there behind him. C.J. Wallen was able to strip it, and so now a 4th down and maybe a yard still as the offense will remain on the field. Ball at the 39-yard line of Plano, and a huge down here for the Jaguars offense. It's Newton out of the gun, empty backfield. Plano really...
That's a false start. No, it's a timeout for Plano.
I thought timeout for Plano. Is Plano really, if you'll notice, was they had just about all of their defenders up towards the line of scrimmage. There was nobody in the defensive backfield. All 11 of their players were, say, within maybe a yard or two of the line of scrimmage, so expecting a run, no doubt there.
Yeah, they had 7 or 8 men in the box expecting a run, and I don't think Coach McCullough liked the matchup that he got with 5 wide receivers for Flower Mound. He calls a timeout to make a quick adjustment.
Plano comes out here in the 3rd quarter and, for lack of better terminology, hits Flower Mound right in the mouth with 2 quick touchdowns. One a long run from Brandon Stevens, and then a touchdown reception to Carson Williams, a touchdown throw from Matt Keys to Carson Williams, I should say. So they lead it now after trailing 14-13 at the half. They lead 27-14 with 4:54 left here in the 3rd quarter.
Number 44 coming on the field as an offensive player for Flower Mound. You have to remember last week, if my memory serves me right, I believe it was a 4th down last week where he had his big touchdown catch.
4th down and 1 now. Connor Lee in the game as a fullback. Limke out of the backfield will get the ball, and does he have enough? Yes, I believe he has enough to move the chains. This is going to be close.
They may measure it. I think he's right at the line to gain.
We'll see if they're going to bring the chain gang out. And first down, marking it a first down. Okay, all right. So first down for Flower Mound. And a big one at that. Limke remains in the game with Newton. Clock running now, 4:43 left here in the 3rd. Limke a couple yards behind Newton in that pistol formation. Now Limke will shift over to the left side basically as a slot tight end. Newton now backs away from his offensive line, has the play call he wants. Here's the snap. Newton, 3-step drop, bounces, throws over the middle, has a receiver, caught.
It's Jack Sikora.
And so Sikora with another big catch.
Yeah, Sikora on that post route has really been giving the Plano secondary fits, and Noble Newton knows that. He's been able to hook up with Sikora 3 or 4 different times on that same route so far in this game, and they have really good chemistry so far tonight.
It's his 4th catch of the night. Here is Newton now, 1st and 10, 4:07 left here in the 3rd. It's Limke, power run off the left side. Limke picks up about 5.
And Balin Smith, more helmet trouble. He'll have to...
Somebody tighten that boy's chin strap.
I think that just in his defense, he had Morris, the linebacker, fall over top of him at the end of that play. I think Morris's cleat may have knocked off the helmet, but that's the 3rd time that Smith has had to leave the field with helmet issues. But somebody they really can't afford to lose either. He's one of their better offensive linemen in that center position, and that's something that they're going to have to solve quickly.
Certainly a senior. You want him in the game as much as possible. Here is Newton now out of the gun, 2nd down, 6. Newton looking to throw, pulls it down, wants to scramble to his right, doesn't have anything, keeps inside the 20, down inside the 15, dives almost to the first down marker, maybe a yard short. This will bring up 3rd and 1. Smith back out on after he has his headgear adjusted. Hayden Hauser as well being substituted in.
I'm a little bit surprised to see as we see Connor Lee coming into the game. Will most likely line up in that fullback position as we see a Wildcat down on the field on the far sideline.
I didn't notice him behind that group of offensive linemen. We'll see who that is for Plano.
Can't quite see the number from here.
Yeah,
I think it's one of their defensive linemen.
I think it's 41. I think it's Tucker Palacia.
He's a 6'1", 190-pound senior defensive end.
Yeah, that's exactly who it is. Tucker Palacia had to get out the binoculars, as happens to Happens to us sometimes. You start getting some of these guys on the far side of the field, you have to get out some assistance.
He's favoring that right leg a little bit. He's putting a little bit of weight on it. May have just gotten rolled up on, but hopefully he'll be able to return too.
All right, 3rd down and 1 now. Clock winding, 19 left on the play clock, 3:06 left on the game clock. Have that large formation in with Connor Lee in as a fullback. Now motion from Hayden Hauser, and we have a flag down.
That's going to be a false start. That's a really bad penalty for Flower Mound to take right here.
And you heard our PA announcer there. It is a 5-yard penalty. With 3 minutes exactly remaining on the clock here in the 3rd, it makes a 3rd and manageable now a 3rd down and 6.
They'll take Connor Lee off. Hayden Hauser and Jack Sikora will come back on as they break out of that heavy formation.
Went from a running down to a throwing down here pretty quick.
Yeah, and I wonder if you got to think it's decision time if you don't make it here. If you're Dane Johnson, do you go for it or do you take the points to make it a 10-point game?
It would be an interesting decision. We'll see. Here's Newton. Wants to throw. The throw is low and incomplete. Jack Sikora could not get his hands under it. Sikora feels like he caught it, but it is ruled incomplete. Of course, we have no review at the high school level, so we will never know. It's basically whatever the official sees, and the back judge says Sikora could not get the hands under it and secure the football. So that brings up 4th down and 6, and I believe the field goal unit is headed onto the field. Yes, I see Josh Grant on his way out.
And I can't argue with this decision from Dane Johnson because if you're coming out of half, Plano's hit you in the mouth several times, and you just got to get points here. You have to get points in some capacity.
This will be about a 34-yarder, having some substitution issues now for Flower Mound as they get a late player on. The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is away, and it is good. Wow, nice job there getting everybody onto the field before the play clock wound down, and Josh Grant able to get the kick away and up and good. So that makes it a 27-17 ball game with 2:20 left here in the 3rd quarter. You're listening to Flower Mound football right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeats.
A Josh Grant field goal makes it a 27-17 game. The Plano Wildcats leading the Flower Mound Jaguars. Here in Flower Mound, Texas, I am Eli Jordan, along with my broadcast partner, Cody Barfnick. Cody, 27-17. The Jags hanging around, but they took a little bit of a punch there from the Wildcats to start this 3rd quarter, and Josh Grant will kick it away now. Back deep to receive. Brandon Stevens and Lepaka Yarrow. And the kick is a short one out at about the 10-yard line. It will be Stevens. Stevens at the 10. Makes his way to the 15. Now wrapped up at the 16-yard line. Nice coverage there from the Flower Mound defensive unit. And so Plano will take over at about the 16-yard line.
And we'll see if the Flower Mound defense can bat down the hatches a little bit here. We've seen a heavy dose of Brandon Stevens these last 2 possessions, as well as the receiving core for the Plano Wildcats making some pretty amazing catches. Carson Williams on that last drive made 2 outstanding grabs. And if you're Flower Mound secondary, you really need to keep the receivers in front of you on this next possession.
This will be a big defensive possession for Flower Mound as you see Connor Lee, Chandler Clatterbaugh, and company out there. It is Matt Keys. He's got Lepaka Yarrow to his left. And here is a throw now. I believe it's Stevens as a wideout over on the far side. It is Stevens. He picks up 6 on 1st down. Wrapped up over there.
Yeah, Stevens, his speed off the edge is really special. It's not hard to see why Coach Shaw out at Stanford wanted him on his team, but when he gets around the edge, you need to watch out every time he touches the ball.
Something certainly very underrated is the fact that being admitted at Stanford is no laughing matter. I mean, obviously a very intelligent young man to not only be recruited to play football there, but to be able to make their academic standards is very impressive, so you know he's a smart player as well. Here is Keys now. He's got Yarrow to his right, Stevens to his left. Keys wants to throw, has Stevens over the middle. Stevens just ran a little wheel route out of the backfield. He was wide open, and Keys just missed him. Otherwise, it may have been to the house for Brandon Stevens.
Plano taking a play out of Flower Mound's book there. That was the same play that Newton threw to Chase Lemke for a touchdown earlier. Stevens just sneaking out of the backfield. Nobody saw him, but the ball just sailed on Keys a little bit, or else they may have had about an 80-yard touchdown on that play.
3rd down and 3 now. Big play for the Jaguars and their defensive unit. 1:28 left here, 3rd quarter. Plano leads 27-17 over Flower Mound. Here is Keys. Hands off Stevens. Stevens looking for room. Has none. He is wrapped up in the backfield for a 4-yard loss. And guess who? It's Connor Lee.
Yeah, Lee made a heck of a play. Blitzed off the edge and kept Stevens in front of him, and Stevens did not have a chance against number 44 on that play.
And that is a sophomore right there, ladies and gentlemen, just going mouth to mouth with Brandon Stevens, the big 203-pound senior running back that's going to Stanford next year. Connor Lee just had no problem just hitting him face to face. And so the punting unit on for Plano. Huge defensive stand. A 3-yard loss there brings up 4th and 6. And a punt team appearance here for the Wildcats. It's Caleb Getty. And the kick almost blocked. And a fair catch made by Hayden Hauser at the 46-yard line. That is where Flower Mound will take over. So good field position here with 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And the Jaguars trailing the Wildcats 27-17.
Just a couple of scoring updates here.
Eli, lay it on me.
McKinney Boyd has taken a 34-24 lead over Plano West. Louisville leads Hebron 21-14 in the 3rd. And Allen 31, Marcus 28 with 5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter in that game.
You said you had the gut feeling.
Maybe.
You said it. They have to lose sometime. Maybe it's tonight. Jaguars back to work here from the 47. It's Noble Newton, empty backfield. Newton tucks, will run right at the midfield stripe. He has tackled. A late flag comes in. We'll see what the call is.
I think they may get number 62 for Flower Mound. That is Chris White, the reserve tackle for holding, but I hope that that's not the case, as that'd be a bad penalty to take. They're going to get Plano here.
The face mask, I believe. I think it's a face mask. Yeah, they got...
The side judge came in with the flag from a long way away, so he has laser vision to be able to see that. I thought since Chris White was near the play that they were going to get him for a block in the back, but that's a fortunate penalty for Flower Mound as it moves him into plus territory.
Poor kid Chris White, he comes in there for Duke Carrillo substitutes, and you want to hang a penalty on him already.
I'm sorry. If you're Chris White's parents, I've completely and sincerely apologize.
It was a face mask, so a 15-yard penalty and a 1st down for Flower Mound. And here is a pass now complete to Dylan Tillotson near sideline. That picks up 8 yards, so 2nd down and 8 now, as here comes Flower Mound, as they're now down to the 27-yard line of Plano with 15 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Tillotson ran a curl near the sideline, just about a 6 to 8 yard curl, and beat C.J. Wall, the corner for Plano, and Flower Mound is in business again here as time winds down the 3rd quarter.
2nd down and 4 now, 16 seconds left, clock stopped. Here is Newton, wants to throw, over the middle, has his man, flag is down.
That's going to be pass interference.
Pass complete to Brendan Alves. I'm not sure if we're going to get pass interference on the defense here, or if Alves may be pushed off. It's almost got to be defensive.
I think they're going to get defensive pass interference here against Plano. It looked to be number 21. I think that's what the officials are chatting near midfield.
Ja'Cory Sanders.
And Ja'Cory Sanders, number 21, had a hand on Alves' back, and there's a conversation still going on at about the 25-yard line.
We'll now get the official call, and it is a pass interference on the defense.
That's going to move Flower Mound into an extremely ideal position to get a touchdown on this drive. That makes the decision to take points on the last drive, to me, even better by Dane Johnson.
Flower Mound can get a 1st down without scoring. Ball sits at the 13-yard line. 1st down and 10. 11 seconds to go here, 3rd quarter. Jaguars looking to mount a comeback. 27-17, Plano leads it. After they open up the 3rd quarter with 2 touchdowns, a Flower Mound field goal draws them to within 10. Here's Newton, wants to throw, has it over the middle. Has his man Chase Lemke again. and Chase Lemke just cuts right in front of a defender who was almost positive he was going to have an interception, and Lemke just flashes in front of him and says, "No, sir." So the Wildcats now lead it just 27-23 with the extra point on the way.
Yeah, it's a heck of a throw. It's just the connection that Lemke and Noble Newton have had so far in this game has been uncanny. He just sneaks out of the backfield unnoticed, it seemed like, and the only person that I was looking at on that play was a safety for Plano and thought he was going to have an easy interception over the middle, but instead it's a touchdown for Flower Mound, and we've got a whole new ball game here late in the third quarter.
It is going to be a wild finish here. The Plano Wildcats leading the Flower Mound Jaguars now 27-24 with 7 seconds left here in the third quarter after Noble Newton hooks up with Chase Lemke for the second time tonight on a touchdown pass. So Lemke, once again, the running game tonight, Cody, hasn't been very effective as far as guys in the backfield as running backs, but we've seen Chase Lemke now basically running himself as almost a tight end.
Right.
Has now caught 2 touchdown passes, so maybe they found a little something in Chase Lemke, not as a running back, but as more of a receiving threat.
And as imposing of a figure as he is, you saw the safety from Plano. It seemed like he was just playing center field in the back of the end zone, just waiting for the ball to hit him in the chest for an interception, but Lemke bowled his way right in front of him, and a player in the secondary has no chance against a guy as imposing as Lemke is. He truly is a thunderous player when he gets in the open field.
Just a junior, 6'3", 230-pounder, so a big boy indeed. Perhaps would be better off as more of a tight end, and looking forward into the future as just a junior. I'm almost certain that they're going to find some way to get him involved in the offense more often than not. So here we go now. Josh Grant to kick it away, 27-24 Plano. 7 seconds left. It's Stevens. Will take it at the 2. Look out, 10, 15, 20. Has some room, 25, 30. Close to the 30. Maybe a little short of the 30, about the 26. So Stevens, you just never know with him. If he finds a seam, you got to be careful. And he found a little bit of daylight there, but it closed on him quickly, and there's just 1 second left now here in the third quarter.
And it's really unusual to see a player as young as Connor Lee leading his teammates the way that he does. But you saw Lee on the near sideline talking to his defensive players before they went on the field. He was extremely jacked, extremely motivating. And you got to think that Flower Mound, the momentum, you feel the momentum shift big time back towards the Flower Mound side of the field as Plano is on their heels a little bit here late in the third quarter.
It's Keys out of the shotgun. He's got Stevens to his left, 3 wide receivers. Keys wants to throw, looks near side, has his man caught. It's Daniel Rodriguez. Rodriguez picks up 6. That draws us to the end of the third quarter. If you're a Jags or Wildcats fan, it's time to strap in, get your favorite beverage ready, and get your favorite snacks in front of you for the fourth quarter. We go to the fourth. 27-24 Plano leading Flower Mound. We'll be back for the fourth quarter right here on Champion Sports Radio.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
Here we go, 27-24 is our score as we start the fourth quarter of play. I'm Eli Jordan, along with Cody Barfnick. Cody, we got 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter of this one as we get started in a 27-24 game. Flower Mound survived an onslaught of punches there early from the Wildcats early in the third quarter, but were able to come back, and now they look for a defensive stand here and a chance to maybe go down and take the lead. Here is Matt Keys, opening up the fourth quarter with a handoff to Brandon Stevens. Stevens trying to find some room, has a first down, and then about 4 more yards after that out close to the 40-yard line. That'll move the chains.
I think the motivation here for Flower Mound, well, any motivation is to get the other offense off the field, but I think worst case scenario here is you let Plano chew a bunch of clock off the scoreboard and you let them score a touchdown. I think the strategy with Brandon Stevens is just to keep him in front of you, not let him break anything big, and a field goal on this drive for Plano would not be the worst thing in the world, as a touchdown for Flower Mound would still put them in the lead late in the game.
Plano, of course, known for trying to chew the clock, especially when they have a lead. They're doing just that as they now hand off. It's Lapaka Yarrow, and Yarrow wrapped up around his headgear and dropped after a gain of maybe half a yard.
That's our man Connor Lee, just absolutely just obliterated Yarrow when he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Took Yarrow's head with him.
I know, that is not a very big guy meeting a hulk of a linebacker, so we'll see him sub out and Brandon Stevens come back in for this next snap.
And again, you see Plano now, they're huddling up and taking their time. Just 12 left on the play clock as they hold a 3-point lead, 27-24.
They do not want to burn a timeout here.
And here is Keys. He's got Stevens behind him, pistol, throw, near side, complete. And shake and bake. Nice move by Terrence Raymond, and Raymond inside Flower Mound territory down at the 41. So Terrence Raymond able to make a nice adjustment catch out of the backfield and then makes a couple of defenders miss, and so here comes Plano.
Devin Coleman had Maynard dead to rights in the backfield. It would have held him to about a 2 or 3 yard gain, but he made just one heck of an offensive play to spring for a first down, and Plano's in plus territory here. And the clock is not running, but Plano is definitely not in any kind of a hurry here.
Here is Keys, ball on the near hash mark at the 41. Plano operating from our right to our left. Here's Stevens, nifty spin move, breaks a tackle at the 40. Now out to the 45, 46, and you can see right there, that's exactly what makes Brandon Stevens a special player. He was wrapped up at about the line of scrimmage and put 2 wicked spin moves on Flower Mound defenders to turn that into a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, Darrell Rutherford and Hayden Brewer had Stevens for maybe a 1 or 2 yard loss. He spun away from 2 defenders, and that just shows how special of a player he is and his athleticism, able to spin away from him and get 6 yards on first down instead of losing 2. So that's something that Flower Mound's going to have to keep away from.
We see Garrett Frederick headed to the sideline for Plano. Daniel Rodriguez is on to the near side. Here's Keys. Keys wanted to throw to Rodriguez.
It's gonna be a false start.
False start play, yep.
Yeah, that just killed. Penalties, especially false starts when your offense is rolling, will just kill your momentum, and Matt Keys was very frustrated when that flag was thrown because he knew it.
And so brings up 2nd down and 9 now. Just a minute and a half gone here in our 4th quarter of play. Plano leading Flower Mound 27-24. Plano has the ball, far hash mark. Tip of the football just touching the 40-yard line. 2nd down and 9 for Wildcats quarterback Matt Keys and his offensive unit. He's got Brandon Stevens to his right. Here's the snap. It's a direct snap to Stevens. Stevens up the middle and close to the first down, as we see for the first time in the second half that Wildcat formation.
I think he's going to be just about a yard short of the first down, so if you're Plano here, you got to be thinking that Flower Mound's defense expects Brandon Stevens to get the ball here on 3rd and short. We'll see if they go with that or they try to hit something over the top. We've seen play action pass work up the seam for each team so far in this game, so it'll be interesting to see what Jadon McCullough elects to do.
Under center now is Matt Keys, the 6'4", 224-pound senior, and he bulldozes his way on a quarterback keeper. And that's plenty for the first down. Maybe picked up 2.5, just needed a yard. So that moves the chains with 9:48 left here in the 4th quarter.
The lineup in the power I set off to the right side. Keys just a little bit of an option play. He was not trying to break it big right there, just was looking to get 2 or 3 yards for a first down, and that's exactly what he did.
Now we see the Wildcats taking their time once again, as they're consistently letting the play clock roll under 10 seconds before they snap here. It's Lapaka Yarrow now on to the right of Matt Keys out of the gun. Here is Yarrow. And look at him go. He's like a little water bug out there. He's out to the about 25-yard line.
Darrell Rutherford in on the tackle. We haven't called his name nearly as much this week as we did last week, as the Plano centers and Dawson Dawkins and Blake Harden is back up, and the guards Spencer Tripp and Peter Lorish have been doing a really good job at controlling that interior defensive line for the Jaguars so far in this game.
Officially a pickup of 4, 2nd down and 6. And so Yarrow still on the field. And now Stevens joins him. And we see that Wildcat formation once again. Stevens has Terrence Raymond to his right. Here is a fake handoff to Yarrow, and Stevens loses his footing as he tries to shift directions and falls down. That's a big play there for Flower Mound, as this brings up a 3rd and 6 now.
I have a hankering that was going to be a trick play. They handed it off to Brandon Stevens. Yarrow had his arms outstretched in the backfield near the line of scrimmage looking for the ball, and it looked like Stevens lost his footing trying to plant his feet and pitch the ball back to Yarrow behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and more than what Plano was looking for instead.
Keys back in now. He's got Stevens to his right. And he is blasted from behind by Connor Lee.
Wow.
And that ball goes out of bounds, but Connor Lee, my goodness, he tried to decapitate Matt Keys.
Man, he came off that edge like a missile, completely untouched. And at first I thought he was going to hit Keys in a way that it was going to be a fumble that could have been recovered for the Jaguars, but instead the ball goes out of bounds. And I think we will see Blake Mazza to come on to try a decent length field goal. And if you're Flower Mound's defense, that has to be a victory for you the way this drive was going.
And Connor Lee, my goodness, they end up calling that an incomplete pass. They say Keys' arm was coming forward, but Lee hit him so hard, the ball flew on the fly out of bounds on the far sideline. Here is the field goal attempt now. And it is a low liner and just gets over the crossbar. And so Blake Mazza now tacks on 3 more, make it a 30-24 game. And Cody, just like you said, I feel like that's a little bit of a victory for Flower Mound, as they can come down now and tie it with a touchdown, and an extra point would give them a 31-30 lead with 8 minutes left here in the ballgame.
Yeah, I think best case scenario here for Flower Mound is you don't want to take too many chances early. I don't think you want to try to do too much in the first couple of plays on this drive. I think you want to be precise, not exactly be slow, but be precise. And you want to take 5, maybe 6 minutes off the clock and score a touchdown for a 31-30 lead. And that'll give Plano's offense, who's not accustomed to working fast, a big hole to climb out of if you can take the lead here.
Certainly would be nice if they could take about 7:58 off of the clock and score a touchdown and kick the extra point.
That would be ideal instead of 5 or 6 minutes.
That's right. 7:59 left here in the 4th quarter. Plano with a field goal. They now lead it 30-24 over Flower Mound here at Neil E. Wilson Athletic Complex on the campus of Flower Mound High School. It's a home game for Flower Mound tonight. And a beautiful night for football it is. And Flower Mound looking to win their 2nd consecutive district game. And Plano looking to get their first district victory of the season. Here is Blake Mazza now to kick it away from the 40-yard line. Kicking from our right to our left. The kick is away. And it is taken at the 3-yard line. It's Devin Coleman. Coleman out past the 20. 25, picks up a block. He's out at the 27. And that's where Noble Newton will take over.
Yeah, Flower Mound's going to get pretty good starting field position. Excuse me.
It happens.
For starting field position.
There we go.
For Flower Mound here as they're going to start at about their own 26. A good return that time by Devin Coleman, and we'll see how Noble Newton plans to attack this drive with 7:52 to go.
Ball officially marked on the 27. 1st down and 10. Here's Newton, empty backfield. Newton looks, throws, near side, incomplete. Falls just in front of Dylan Gorlich, but
I can't believe there wasn't any kind of a call there. There was
there was definitely some contact.
I saw some jersey tugging going on both sides on that play, so I think maybe best the official just decided to keep it in his pocket.
Yeah, there was some fighting for the ball, fighting for position, no doubt. And it was a well-delivered ball, too, so you certainly could have seen a flag, but I think you're right.
As a Flower Mound radio broadcast, I will say we got hosed on that.
That's
one.
right.
Should have been pass interference.
Should have been flags everywhere. Now we have flags everywhere, as you can hear the whistles blowing. It's a false start on Flower Mound, so a penalty there, and that will bring up a 2nd down and 15.
That's not something you want to see, especially at this stage of the game. We talked in the pregame about mistakes in big situations, and I would classify a penalty on this drive against Flower Mound as a mistake in a big situation. So that's already ground that they're going to have to make up.
All right, here we go. Empty backfield once again. Here's Noble Newton, the senior quarterback. Wants to throw, has his man. It's Alves. Alves dancing, gets back about a yard short of the original line of scrimmage, maybe only a pickup of 3.
The one thing you got to worry about here is your Flower Mound is if you go a quick 3 and out and give the ball back to Plano with a 6-point lead, especially how their offense has been operating in this second half. You're kind of looking down the barrel there a little bit.
Yeah, time will become a factor very rapidly if you give the ball back to Plano at this point. Here's Newton now, 3rd down 11. This is the biggest 3rd down so far tonight. Newton wants to keep, has a blocker, can't find any other help as he is wrapped up after a gain of maybe 2, gets back to the original line of scrimmage or maybe a yard past it. So 4th down and 9 here, and this has got to be a punting situation, I would think.
Most definitely, as you see Josh Grant take the field for Flower Mound, and that's kind of a wasted drive a little bit, especially with that penalty. You wanted to see some kind of decent amount of time go off the clock with points, but if you're Flower Mound's defense, you almost have to have a 3 and out, if not only 1 first down allowed.
Oh, and here's a bad snap now over the head of Grant. Grant going to try and kick it and manages to kick it straight into the ground. I've never seen that before in my life. Ball doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage, and so Plano will take over here, and they've got killer instinct field position as they're looking to turn out the lights of the Flower Mound Jaguars here after a bad snap on the punt.
Yeah, that's just absolutely killer if you're Flower Mound. A snap goes over Josh Grant's head. He was lucky he even got the ball kicked to get about 15 yards or so. He's lucky that he didn't get hit back in the end zone. And if you're Plano, you're in the driver's seat, and they're already in field goal range at this point.
Ball on the 24-yard line. It's Stevens out of the Wildcat, hands off to Yarrow. Yarrow right side, picks up 3 with 6:20 left here.
And
in
field
the fourth
goal
quarter.
Field goal range is not an insignificant thing to think about here, because if you're Plano and you kick a field goal, that'll be a 9-point lead in a 2-score game here in the late going. But obviously, if you're Flower Mound, then that's the best case scenario you can hope for is a mistake on the field goal.
Well, we've seen potential game-tying, game-winning field goals blocked before by Flower Mound.
Especially when you got Connor Lee on the field goal block team.
That's exactly right. So just got to hope for a hold here. Here is Keys now. Hands off Yarrow. Yarrow spinning his way towards the first down marker. Maybe right at it. We'll see where the official spot is.
I think he's going to be about, they are going to move the chains. I thought if they were going to mark it short, that had to be about the length of a fingernail. I don't know how they can mark it that short, but it'll be a first down for Plano nonetheless as they're inching down inside the 15-yard line of the Jaguars.
And the clock continues to roll here, now approaching 5.5 to play in the fourth quarter. The Plano Wildcats leading the Flower Mound Jaguars 30-24. Ball on the 14-yard line. Play clock under 10 now, down at 7-6 as they break the huddle. It's going to be Keys under center. Here's a pitch to Stevens. Stevens, they're stretching him out towards the sideline, and a nice play there made by the outside linebacker. That's Thomas Randall, who came in earlier for Zach Roberts.
Yeah, Randall made a very good play there, not letting Stevens get on the alley, and a 2-yard gain that time is really a minimum for Brandon Stevens. We've seen the firepower that he has. He's had several long runs in this game, and they've got to keep him under wraps if they want to keep Plano out of the end zone on this possession.
Especially on a pitch play like that. We talked about this at halftime a little bit off the air, but anytime you get Brandon Stevens going north and south, running downhill, it can always be dangerous. And here is Stevens now out of the Wildcat on 2nd down and 9. Straight up the gut. Stevens picks up 2. Clock will continue to move, though. Jaguars do have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Plano just has 2 remaining.
I think Dane Johnson most likely wants to save his timeouts for offensive possessions, but with Plano as precise as they have been these last few possessions, as we inch down to nearly under 4 minutes left in this game, the clock is, needless to say, already become a significant factor.
Well, this play is huge here. 3rd down and 6. And the game clock will be under 4 whenever this ball is snapped. It's Brandon Stevens out of the Wildcat. Here's Stevens, wants to hit the outside, has the outside, 10, 5, touchdown, Brandon Stevens, and Stevens has likely just turned out the lights on the Jaguars with 3:53 left.
Yeah, Stevens, just your basic, your basic. I don't really know even what to call it. I mean, you put Brandon Stevens in the Wildcat and you turn him loose. He runs straight at the pylon on the far side of the field, and there is nobody on the Flower Mound defensive side of the ball that has the lateral speed, sideline to sideline, to be able to catch him. He gets into the end zone, and I think Plano is going to go for 2 here to make it an even 14-point game.
I believe you're right. The offensive unit's still out on the field right now, a 36-24 game, so a 2-point conversion, you're correct, would make it a 14-point game. With 3:53 left here. Not over just yet, but certainly Flower Mound has some obstacles to overcome, one of them being the clock.
Little confusion on the offensive side for Plano. I saw Coach McCullough on that far sideline running to call a timeout before the play clock expired.
And now would be a good time to remind you to check out Nene's Design. Nene's Designs is your official spirit wear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spirit wear, specializing in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spirit wear apparel for schools. To learn more, visit them online at nenesdesigns.com. That's Nenees Designs.com. Nene's Designs. 3:53 remaining here in our fourth quarter. The Plano Wildcats, after trailing at halftime, have come out here in the second half and put together some offensive possessions that we have seen Plano put together in the past, just had not done so in the last couple of weeks. And I'd be interested to have been a fly on the wall at halftime to see what Jadon McCullough said in that locker room at halftime. I'm not sure if maybe he threatened them with conditioning until they vomited or what, but they have come out here in the second half and really put together some offensive possessions.
They have absolutely put the pedal to the metal in the second half. There's really no other way to put it. They played just the way that they had played the last 6 quarters before coming into this game. They've just been a polar opposite the way they played so far tonight.
Critical 2-point conversion attempt now for the Wildcats. It is Stevens from under center, and he runs an option play. Don't think he got it. And so this will remain a 36-24 game. So 2 touchdowns would win it for Flower Mound. The only problem is they've got to figure out a way to score 2 touchdowns in 3:53.
A lot easier. Well, it's really not even easy said, but a lot easier said than done against a Plano team that has played exponentially better in the second half, especially on defense.
Now see Zach Roberts making his way back out from the locker room. Looks like he's got a pretty heavy splint on that lower left leg, on crutches as well. So certainly our thoughts with that young man. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but definitely on crutches and no longer in uniform. So Roberts done for the night.
Just looks like he has a light air cast on that left ankle and shin area. Hopefully nothing broken. We obviously do not know what the prognosis is up here, but it appears to be something more serious than we would have hoped for with him.
Now let's reset for you. The Plano Wildcats leading here 36-24 over the Flower Mound Jaguars. 3:53 left here, fourth quarter, as Plano gets ready to kick it away to Flower Mound. Flower Mound has 3 timeouts remaining. Plano just has 1 left. And it's Blake Mazza who will boot it away. Devin Coleman and Hayden Hauser back deep to receive. Here's the kick. It's a short kick, and this will be taken by Hauser out towards the 20-yard line. Hauser near side looking for a bit of a seam. Finds one. He's out past the 25 to the 26. But a short kick and some decent field position to start here.
Yeah, decent field position, and if you're Flower Mound, you're in the area, I believe, of need to get moving quick, and we'll definitely see the tempo pick up a little bit to start this next possession, but you have to do that while trying to not do too much. I know that's kind of a oxymoron to say you need to move
a little bit
without doing too much.
I think what you're trying to say is you need to kind of step on the gas a little bit without making any kind of foolish decision to turn the ball over or really put the nail in the coffin here. You can be efficient, but you just need to do it relatively quickly. Here's Newton now out of the gun. looking to throw, can't find anything. Now throws far sideline, checks it all the way down to Jack Sikora. Sikora out has a first down, and so that will stop the clock. Nice effort there from the senior wideout Jack Sikora.
Not exactly sure, but I think we're going to be graced with the presence of the Arkansas Razorback band for a post-game performance after this one as A&M and Arkansas plays.
Are we now?
Cowboy Stand Wire. I believe that's who it is.
There's certainly a large band making their way into the complex right now. I'm going to get out the binoculars and see here. Yeah, it does look like a Razorback on that drum over there. Maybe it is. Here's Newton now. Wants to throw, has his man caught. Dylan Gorlich. Gorlich breaks a tackle. He is down at the 40-yard line into Wildcat territory. So Dylan Gorlich, an outstanding throw and an outstanding catch there, and just right away we see Noble Newton trying to make something happen.
Yeah, that's what the doctor ordered so far on this drive for Flower Mound. Gorlich runs about a 20-yard post route over the middle of the field, and Flower Mound is moving inside the 40-yard line of the Wildcats.
Empty backfield once again for Noble Newton, the senior signal caller. Newton rolling to his right, now stops, loads up, wants it all, has a man, it's Alves, 5, inside the 5, caught down at the 1-yard line, Brendan Alves. Outstanding throw from Noble Newton.
Heck of a throw, a go route, and you see Dane Johnson directing his team to get on the ball and snap it as quickly as possible. They want to score in as little time as possible on this possession, and they'll still have a decent amount of time to go.
Here's Lemke now in behind Newton. Ball at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal. Here's handoff, Lemke. Lemke barrels over a defender, does not get to the goal line.
We see a Wildcat down, not sure what the number is. His helmet came off. I think that's number 37.
Yep, 37.
I think that was a substitute made this last possession.
Landry Kershaw.
Landry Kershaw.
Landry Kershaw, as he got his helmet knocked off, and pretty big-time collision there between the 6'1", 201-pound junior linebacker and then Chase Lemke, the 6'3", 230-pounder. So big-time collision there, but Kershaw on his way off.
That stops the clock just momentarily, but it should start once they set the change. Yeah,
here we go, 2:39 left. This one's not over yet. 1st down and goal, ball on the 1-yard line. Here's Newton, handoff Lemke again, and he is again dropped in the backfield. As a great play there made by Byron Tate, the defensive end, who just crashes his way down and stops Lemke dead in his tracks.
We see the heavy unit for Flower Mound coming onto the field as Lemke had nowhere to go on either of those last 2 plays, and maybe Connor Lee get him a rushing touchdown here.
2:15, 2:14. Lee in the game. It's a handoff to Lemke once again. This time he follows some blockers, and no signal yet. And Lemke down at the 1 again. So 3 run plays from the 1-yard line, and the clock is winding now down to exactly 2 minutes before the timeout is officially called by Flower Mound. Unbelievable. 3 straight run plays, and they cannot get in from the 1. And so this will bring up now a 3rd down, I believe, and goal from the 1-yard line.
It's interesting to me, I believe, unless the 1st down original play for Lemke didn't count. They had it marked as a 1st down. They ran a play. And
yeah, there's been 3 plays run. Our markers are still only showing 3rd down.
Well, that last play, the marker showed 2nd down. So was it possible the officials have messed something up here? I mean, it's unless I'm missing something.
I know you're correct. They've run 3 plays from the 1-yard line. I'm not sure if maybe the first play was whistled dead and maybe we just didn't hear it because of the crowd noise, but they are showing a 3rd and goal now, and our officials appear to be rolling with that. So
with 2 minutes left, it's definitely 4-down territory. I mean,
you're going to have to go for it twice here. I mean, a field goal is going to do you no good.
Right. I kind of want, this is just the fan instead of the broadcaster to me. Kind of want number 44 to get that carry from the 1-yard line just to see if he can bowl his way into the end zone.
Now I believe we have Chandler Clatterball in there at tailback, and right behind Noble Newton and offset is Connor Lee. And here is Clatterball. He dives for the goal line and short once again.
He's short again. I thought, obviously I can't see it from down the line, but I thought he got in.
Looked to me like he extended the football close. It looks like they're going to maybe just try and run the same play once again, 144 and counting.
They've done it 4 straight times now, and they've got no luck on it.
Here it is. This is your ball game, 4th down and goal. Clatterball this time able to bowl his way in as he goes low. Last time he went high and got stuck. This time he barrels his head down and able to punch it in with 1:36 left. But my, oh my, how many critical ticks of the clock went off that possession as they started with about 2.5 minutes or almost 3 minutes left from the 1 yard line and weren't able to get it in until there was about a minute gone.
Yeah, only 1:36 left on the clock, and that's not something that Dane Johnson wanted to see. You have to go onside kick here. Obviously, Connor Lee threw a really good block. To get Clatterbaugh into the end zone. And we'll see if Flower Mound can come up with that elusive onside kick that they haven't been able to get so far this year in that situation.
Josh Grant hammers home the extra point, but it was essentially meaningless anyway, as it's a 36-31 game now with 1:36 remaining, and the Jaguars likely going to line up for an onside kick here. They do have 2 timeouts left. Plano with just 1 remaining. It's been a wild ball game as the Jaguars refuse to go away here late. As they now trail it by just 5, a touchdown would win it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. They would need an onside kick, but if they somehow can get the onside kick, they'd be in a pretty good situation with 2 timeouts left with 1:36 to go. As we see, no doubtedly, the hands team for Flower Mound will come onto the field, and Plano is expecting it all the way. And the attempted onside kicks we've seen from Josh Grant so far this year have been kind of a pop-up to try to get it over that first line of defenders for Plano, but the way they're set up, I don't know if that strategy will work in this situation.
You just got to make sure it goes 10 yards. That's the one thing you've got to do. It's got to go 10 yards. And so here we go with 1:36 left, and Flower Mound trailing 36-31. We will see the Josh Grant onside kick. The hands team on for the Wildcats. Lapacayaro is deep about the 12-yard line. And here is the kick. It bounces at the 50 and almost squirted out. Wow. And now a late hit. Going to be charged with Flower Mound as somebody came in there a little bit late. But a wonderful play there by hands team member. That was Aaron Ragas. Ragas, it looked like it may actually kind of squirt through his hands, but with 1:35 left, the Jaguars just a pair of timeouts.
I really thought it was going to hit the way that the ball hit the ground. I thought it may hit off of one of Ragas' knees and squirt free there to be recovered, but Plano will take over in plus territory here with about 1:35 to go. And Flower Mound still with 2 timeouts left, so it's not technically over yet, but Plano will most likely sit on it, and with a running back like Brandon Stevens, a first down is highly likely.
Well, here we go. It's Keys out of the gun. He hands it to Stevens. Stevens, 35, 30, turns the corner down at the 25 and has the wherewithal to stay in bounds and slide down at the 25-yard line. That will force the Jaguars to use their first of 2 remaining timeouts with 1:25 left.
Yeah, Stevens, I think they're going to actually move the chains for a first down. Flower Mound calls a timeout, and with 1 timeout left and 1:25 left, the lights are certainly starting to dim on the Jaguars in this one.
Yeah, they certainly did an outstanding job of hanging around in this one. They took, Plano's best punch there early in the third quarter and managed to make a game out of it here late. And who knows, maybe you get something fluky to happen here in the last 1:25, but right now Plano in command of this one.
I mean, who knows, they're rivals from the east side of Plano, and the Plano East Panthers, when they were here, had a lead late in the game with about 1 minute to go and ended up throwing for whatever reason, and Flower Mound got a takeaway. So I don't think Plano will throw here, but
not exactly Plano's brand of football.
But something happens with the snap. We've seen bad exchanges.
We certainly have seen that tonight. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably going to see a victory formation here,
most likely.
And we have seen Keys take snaps out from under center tonight, and that's what we're going to see here. Is he will go under center. Sometimes you have a pure shotgun quarterback and they're not used to handling the ball from under center, but Keys has done it several times tonight.
They're going to get Flower Mound for offsides here.
As Connor Lee in the backfield harassing Brandon Stevens, but offsides is the call. Now will be a 5-yard penalty. First down 5 now, and again, likely to see a victory-type formation here.
Yeah, Flower Mound calls their last timeout. So
Plano called a timeout.
Plano
did. Yeah, Plano called their last timeout.
They did take it off the board. The official mark it to Plano.
Yeah, the official pointed Plano's direction, but it looks like the Jaguars took the timeout.
Flower Mound. I know the.
There we go. Yeah, there he goes. Now he's fixing it. He's pointing towards Flower Mound.
Yeah, well, with a first down with 1:21 to go, Flower Mound calls our last time out. I think that will shut the door on Flower Mound's chances here tonight.
At this point, about all you can hope for is a bad snap, a bad exchange between the center and the quarterback, and then you'd have to go score in 1:20. But Plano, it looks like they're going to come away with a very, very important district win here tonight to give themselves a little bit of life here in this district. Certainly didn't want to start out 0-3. That could have been curtains for their chances at the playoffs. And here is Keys now, takes the snap and takes a knee about 4 yards into the backfield. The clock continues to wind. One more knee should do it, as Plano will let the clock wind down here. 30 left on the play clock, 1:05 left on the game clock. So if they snap the ball with about 3 or 4 seconds left, it should only require one final knee.
You've got to be impressed with the effort that both of these teams have put forth here tonight. Flower Mound, an exceptional effort, especially late in the game, down by 2 scores. Take 2 haymakers from Plano to start the second half, and but come back and make a heck of a game out of it.
Here's Keys now, takes the final snap, and one of the nose tackles there, and a flag is down as we've got a little extracurricular here. Looked like one of the nose tackles for Flower Mound hit the center, knocking him back into Keys and sending Keys somersaulting into the backfield, and our officials didn't care for that, so flag is down. That stops the clock with 30 seconds left. We'll get this sorted out, but that should be the last time that Plano has to take a knee here.
Yeah, and they're taking, I think Robert Darnell's coming off the field for Flower Mound. He's not happy, I think.
No, I don't think the coaches were happy with him either. I don't know if maybe he was chirping a little bit.
I'm not sure. It looked like he just inadvertently hit the center, and the center fell back into Keys. It didn't look like anything intentional from up here, but we'll see what. They should only have
once they mark the ball here, that
should only have
it.
to snap it one more time. They may not even have to snap it because the clock will run once the chain's set.
Right. Yeah, and here we go. The clock is running now, and yeah, they will have to snap it one more time as there's 25 left on the game clock, 20 left on the play clock. So somehow that, I guess, with the penalty, got that out of whack. But as here we go now, as Keys breaks the huddle, and he will take a knee one final time, 8-7 and 6. And now I believe our officials are going to say, yeah, that the play clock was messed up there. So that will wind the end of the game, and that is our final. The Plano Wildcats defeat the Flower Mound Jaguars 36-31 in a critical District 6-6A matchup. A fun game to be a part of, but the Jags come out on the short end of the stick. And we will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. We'll do that next right here on Champion Sports Radio.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Hey, honey, why are you home so late?
Don't even get me started.
Did Sally come in late again today?
Sally comes in late every day. Pete can't stay off the internet, and Roger does everything but his job. It gets so frustrating. My employees can't be accountable for their own actions.
You need to contact Strategic Direct Solutions, LLC. My company has been using SDS for years, and they have totally upgraded several positions for us.
That sounds like a great idea and a great solution.
Make sure your company has the best employees.
That's right, in the best positions, so your organization can achieve success. Strategic Direct Solutions is a staffing solutions firm which has been supporting small to Fortune 500 companies across North America, providing great talent.
Visit us on the web at www.sdsllc.com or call us at 972-355-7500, extension 305.
Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom, now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Bring the whole family to Mellow Mushroom for classic Southern pizza with their unique and flavorful crust. Mellow Mushroom has more than just great pizza. Consider anything on the menu a win. Athlete tested, coach approved. For pregame, postgame, or for the game, it's Mellow Mushroom. Between Morris and Long Prairie Road on 1171 in Flower Mound. Online at mellowmushroom.com. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Nene's Design specializes in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spiritwear apparel for schools. Nene specializes in graphic design, embroidery, screen printing, and rhinestones, just to name a few. They differentiate themselves with their consultative approach to apparel decoration. Contact Nene's today to see what you've been missing. Nene'sDesigns.com. That's NeneES Designs.com. Nene's Designs, your official spiritwear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spiritwear.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
36-31 is the final tonight as the Flower Mound Jaguars lose to the Plano Wildcats. And welcome to the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. I'm Eli Jordan. Cody Barfnick with me here this evening. And Cody, 36-31, the Jaguars hang tough. They're just unable to overcome the poor start to that third quarter, and they just can't make up for it late. 36-31 is the final, but they really battled here tonight.
Yeah, they really did battle, and like I said, off-air between the end of the game and the post-game show.
The In-Command Broadcasting post-game show.
The In-Command Broadcasting post-game show. One thing I was impressed with was the effort by both of these teams. I think that this was a very well-played game on both sides, except for a couple mistakes that were made by each team early on. But they cleaned up the mistakes. There weren't any turnovers in the second half. They cleaned up the mistakes. But like I said, like you said earlier, I don't know what J. Don McCullough said in the locker room at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked because the Wildcats came out just throwing haymakers in the second half, and that turnover in the first half, near the end of the first half, that just it may have been enough to doom Flower Mound in this game.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, obviously, third quarter, you come out early. Just about a minute and a half in, Brandon Stevens rips off a 67-yard touchdown run, and then right after that, just 2 minutes later, you get a Carson Williams 23-yard touchdown reception from Matt Keys. So just like that, after trailing by a point at halftime, Plano gets on the board twice early in the third quarter, and really, you just kind of felt like Flower Mound just they weren't able to recover from that. They really did battle late. They were able to score late in the third quarter to kind of get back in the game, but then once again you get a field goal and then another Brandon Stevens touchdown there late in the fourth quarter to really put it away. So, Brandon Stevens, obviously a heck of a ball player. He's going to go play at a very, very high level next year at Stanford, so certainly no shame in allowing him to go for what he did tonight, and we'll get into some stats here in just a second. But, nevertheless, a very hard-fought game here tonight, and both of these teams knew they really needed this game, especially Plano. They knew they could not start out 0-3 in the district, and they avoided doing so tonight, and they're able to come away with a win.
Yeah, definitely, and for Plano, I think this is something you had to have. You can't start 0-3 and make the playoffs in District 6A, and neither one of these teams are out of it. It's just that there are several. There's still winnable games left, and we're at the halfway point of the season. But if you're Flower Mound, you work your way in a position now where you have to win at least three out of your next 4 games, 3 out of your next 5 games to make the playoffs. It's doable. It certainly is doable, but it is a tough task, especially in a district that's as tough as this one. They got the Marcus Marauders next week, and that's just a very tough game in and of itself.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the Mountain Showdown, obviously, anytime there's a big rivalry game, you never know what can happen. But Marcus, very solid this year, and and we'll get to Marcus and Allen, their score in just a minute. But you're playing teams in back-to-back weeks that are coming off playing Allen, and that can take its toll on a football team playing a team like the Allen Eagles. We saw it here tonight. I mean, Plano came out a little bit flat here tonight. They're able to come away with a victory, but in the beginning of the game, it looked like Plano had played Allen last week.
Yes,
and hopefully you maybe get a little bit of that next week when you play Marcus in the Mound Showdown. So you never know. Obviously, like I said, a rivalry game, you never know what can happen. But you've still got Marcus on the schedule. You've still got Allen on the schedule for Flower Mound. So obviously, like you said, behind the 8 ball a little bit. They really, really need to try and string together some wins. They're going to have to beat the likes of a Louisville. They're going to have to beat Hebron now if they have any chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to have to beat Louisville. They're going to have to beat Hebron, and they still have Plano West left on the schedule. And with Marcus and Flower Mound looming, not ruling them out in those games, but the Louisville, Hebron, and definitely Plano West games are turning into must-wins rapidly for the Jaguars.
I would agree. Let's get you some stats here quickly as we're going to get through this post-game show as quick as we can. Total yards for Flower Mound, 334. Plano comes in, ends the game with 430 total yards, 19 first downs for Flower Mound, 18 for the Plano Wildcats. The big discrepancy here tonight, obviously rushing yards. Brandon Stevens had an outstanding game. Flower Mound just 90 yards on the ground. Brandon Stevens himself accounts for almost all of the Plano rush yards. They had 43 carries for 233 yards here tonight, a 5.5 yard per carry average. So right there, the big discrepancy in tonight's statistics. Pass yards, 197 for Plano, 244 from Noble Newton here tonight for Flower Mound. The fumbles, 3 fumbles for Plano. They lose just one of those. Flower Mound has 1 fumble, and they turn the ball over on that particular time. Penalties, 8 for 65 for Plano, 7 for 53 yards for Flower Mound. Individual stats, we mentioned it before. For Plano, you got to start with Brandon Stevens. He has 28 carries for 223 yards and 2 TDs here tonight, almost 8 yards per carry for Brandon Stevens. Passing-wise, Matt Keys, 11 for 15, so very efficient, completing 73% of his passes, just 197 yards, but he does throw for 2 TDs and no interception, so a very efficient, although not jaw-dropping night for Matt Keys. Other rushing statistics, Lepaka Yarrow, 7 carries for 22 yards. Plano receiving, Carson Williams, nice game for him. He has 4 catches for 82 yards, including a touchdown. 2 of those catches came on what ended up being kind of a back-breaking drive for Flower Mound there to open the third quarter. Garrett Frederick, 3 catches, 75 yards and a touchdown. Terrence Raymond had 1 reception for 19 yards. Daniel Rodriguez, 2 catches for 14 yards. And running back Brandon Stevens, 1 catch for just 7 yards. On the Flower Mound side of the football, Noble Newton, 19 for 28 tonight for 244 yards. He has 3 touchdowns, but does throw an interception. Flower Mound rushing. Noble Newton leads the way there, 18 carries for 75 yards. Chase Lemke, 6 touches for 21 yards. Chandler Clatterball has 2 attempts for just 1 yard. It was late there in the game. He does pick up the touchdown on his second attempt. And then beyond that, Flower Mound receiving, Jack Sikora, 5 catches for 77 yards and a touchdown. Chase Lemke has 3 receptions for 59 yards. He also goes for a pair of TDs in this one. Brendan Alves, 4 catches, 56 yards. Dylan Gorlich, 2 catches for 36 yards. Desmond Joy, 4 receptions for 10 yards. And Dylan Tillotson has 1 catch for just 6 yards. Those are your stats from tonight, and we will come back here momentarily on the In Command Broadcasting post-game show, and we will talk a little bit about some of the district scores, what went on in that Allen Flower Mound game as we look forward to the Mound Showdown next week between Marcus and Flower Mound. We'll preview that game as well when we come back on the In Command Broadcasting post-game show right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Hey, Jeff here, founder of Which Superior Sandwiches. At Which, we didn't invent the ordering system, we perfected it. The next level of perfection, our Which ordering app for iPhone and Android lets you create your favorite Which, like the Wicked with 5 meats and 3 cheeses, the vegetarian black bean patty, or tons of others. Just order, walk in, and boom, your amazing Which is waiting for you, instead of the other way around. So why wait? Download our Which ordering app and have your Which made while you're on the way.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/championsportsradio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/championsportsradio. Your home for championship social media.
And welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. It's a final tonight from Flower Mound, Texas. 36-31, the Plano Wildcats come into the Neil E. Wilson Athletic Complex and defeat the Flower Mound Jaguars. I'm Eli Jordan. Cody Barfnick joining me tonight in the broadcast booth. Cody, need to check up on some of those 6A scores from around the area, and there were a couple of good games tonight. Let's hear what you got.
A couple of good games. One we just finished watching right here, and at Clark Field in Plano, the McKinney-Boyd Broncos, who Flower Mound took down last week, they beat Plano West 41-31 after being down 24-20 at halftime. So Grant Ressmeyer, Don Drake, that McKinney-Boyd squad looks like they're in the process of getting back on track, and they defeat Plano West, and that's a big district win for them to make a push toward the playoffs. Over in Carrollton, at Hawk Stadium at Hebron High School, the Louisville Fighting Farmers come away with a huge 21-14 win over the Hebron Hawks. And like we talked about off air, Eli, with Plano winning tonight, with Flower Mound needing to beat West, Hebron, Louisville, or Marcus, or even Allen to have a chance at that fourth playoff spot, Louisville has East, a team they beat last year. Hebron, a team they just beat tonight. Then they have Flower Mound. They beat them last year. They have West, who, with Soso Jamabo, didn't fare too well against them last year, but are a beatable team for them this year. And you never know what may happen. It seems like Louisville could be in play for that fourth playoff spot as well, and it's going to be really entertaining down the stretch, I think.
It certainly could get wild in a hurry. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, right. And over in Allen, the 48-game winning streak is officially still intact. Kind of teased that one a little bit.
The gut feeling didn't pan out, I guess.
Didn't pan out, but Marcus played Allen really well. The final in that one is 38-28 in favor of Allen. Anytime I hate to put it this way, but anytime you only lose to Allen by 10 points,
you've played a pretty good football game.
You played a pretty good game.
No question.
It'll be interesting to see what the rest of the stats are on that one tomorrow. I don't have it in front of me, but South Lake Carroll goes to Shotwell Stadium in Abilene, and defeats the Abilene Eagles 42-17. The Coppell Cowboys defeat LD Bell 42-10. South Grand Prairie, in a wild game against Midlothian, wins 56-42, and DeSoto just plunking Grand Prairie 60-3. And at the game played at DeSoto, Mansfield 41-14 over Duncanville, and I think you mentioned earlier Trophy Club, Myron Nelson, and Keller Timber Creek are in their 5th overtime. Is that what it said?
That's what it said. I'm not. That almost can't be right,
yeah,
can it?
5th. Well, I remember Louisville and Marcus one year went 5 overtimes.
Yeah, it says here 51-51, and then it says OT 5 next to it. And it's still going.
So it was 51-48 earlier. So if Timber Creek just tied it up, it may be going 6 overtimes.
It's certainly possible. That's crazy. 6 overtimes. I'm sure they're probably losing some voices in that broadcast booth over there.
Yeah, so. And I know the guys who broadcast Byron Nelson. We met them in the first game of this week. They're good guys, but they're probably not going to do much talking tomorrow.
No question about that. Well, those are your scores for tonight. When we come back, we'll break down next week's matchup with the Marcus Marauders. It's the Mound Showdown next week. I like that nickname for that rivalry, the Mound Showdown.
I went to the first Mound Showdown.
You did? You were at the first ever Mound Showdown.
First ever. Flower Mound opened in 1999. Marcus, of course, a little bit older than that, but Flower Mound started playing varsity football in 2001. For a little bit, the rivalry didn't take off as much, but whenever it did, it's been very, very tense ever since then.
Yes, I know that there is some animosity between the two teams, so should be a fun matchup next week. We'll talk about that next on the In Command Broadcasting post-game show right here on Champion Sports Radio.
Rapid Med Urgent Care Center in Highland Village provides Southern Denton County families with state-of-the-art emergency medical care right in your neighborhood. From checkups to broken bones, school vaccinations, sports physicals, and more, you can count on Rapid Med for all of your medical needs. Rapid Med is proud to provide the latest in concussion management through the IMPACT program in partnership with the Texas Health Sports Network. Rapid Med Urgent Care Center is dedicated to providing you with quality care quickly. Visit rapidmed.com.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the #1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
36-21 the final tonight as the Plano Wildcats get a much-needed district victory over the Flower Mound Jaguars. Welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting postgame show. I'm Eli Jordan, along with Cody Barfnick, my broadcast partner for tonight and for the entire season. Cody, glad you're here with me. A fun game to call, unfortunately. The Jags come up just a little bit short here tonight as we look forward now to next week's game. We mentioned it just a little bit when you were talking about scores a moment ago, but the Mound Showdown with the Marcus Marauders next week.
Yeah, the Mound Showdown, it's kind of grown as a rivalry, especially in the last 6, 7, 8 years, because both of these teams have been competitive. They're very proud programs, and especially Flower Mound. I do know from Marcus fans and Marcus fans who may be listening to this now is they don't really, as far as the animosity goes, they don't really like the Flower Mound Marcus
that is
title.
100% accurate. I've had people tell me that before, that in broadcast, don't call them FM Marcus, call him Marcus.
Yes.
They don't care for the prequel to that. So, yeah, we've got Flower Mound next week. The Jaguars taking on the Marcus Marauders in the Mound Showdown. And, of course, you mentioned Marcus loses to Allen tonight, but very competitive in that game. Just a few stats from that game passing-wise. Mitch Cason, 281 yards, a pair of touchdowns and a pick. And rushing-wise, they have a running back that goes for over 100 yards against Allen tonight. Nate Hopkins, he goes for 108 yards. And then, of course, the big receiving target over there at Marcus, you got to talk about Caden Smith when you talk Mound Showdown. The senior tight end, he's going to play college ball next year. I believe he's going to Stanford as well. Is that right? He's going to Stanford. He'll be playing with Brandon Stevens. But Caden Smith, an all-world talent. He's like the number 1 or number 2 rated tight end by just about every major publication as far as high schoolers go. He's very Rob Gronkowski-ish, a big kid, 6'5", 235, 40 pounds, and he goes for 5 catches, 123 yards tonight, and he could be a handful next week for this Jaguars team.
Yeah, I think so, and that's going to be something. He's going to definitely be a force to be reckoned with, and if you look at Caden Smith, and we saw Brandon Stevens, another Stanford-bound high school player tonight, you look at those two guys, and I feel like from what I've seen from Stevens, he's quick, but he might need a year or so in the Stanford system before he's able to be a major player for them. From what I've seen from Caden Smith, he can be a standout player for Stanford right now.
Yeah, an immediate impact player, I would agree.
He can be an immediate impact, and Flower Mound's defense knows that. Sam Harrison knows that, and Connor Lee is a great player, but as far as offensive players go, this is a little bit of a different animal in Caden Smith, and Connor Lee is going to have to be on top of his he's going to have his A-plus game, and we've seen what that looks like. And not just Lee, but Rutherford and Robert Darnell, Hayden Brewer, all those defensive players for Flower Mound, they're going to have to be really on their toes, and the offense is going to have to cut down on the mistakes they made tonight, which we can say that every week about every team. They're going to have to cut down on mistakes, but I think it could shape up to be a good game. You throw in the rivalry aspect of it, and anything could happen over at Marcus next week.
Yeah, certainly, and and let's not discount the fact that, of course, we're just speculating here, and I hate to do that, but Flower Mound, I'm thinking they probably are going to be without Zach Roberts next week. He was on the sideline. He had a significant wrap on his leg. He was hurt there in the first half of this game tonight, and he's a senior outside linebacker, so a guy that has seen Caden Smith before and probably knows a little bit about his game. And you've got Josh Waters that came in for him and did a fine job, but you can't underestimate a guy that's stood across the football from Caden Smith for 2-3 years, and what kind of experience brings to the table there, especially a guy like Smith who goes 6'5". He's a matchup nightmare for just about anybody in any high school level across the country, and that's why he's rated as one of the top tight ends in the entire USA, getting ready to go to Stanford. So obviously he's going to create matchup problems with just about anybody. It's just a matter of if he's going to get his catches, which he probably is against anyone. You saw him do it against Allen tonight, 5 catches, 123 yards. You just need to make sure that when he does get those catches, they don't go for touchdowns, and Allen tonight does that. They're able to, he goes for 25 yards a catch, but they keep him out of the end zone. So, and that,
right.
In the end makes a big difference. You don't let that guy beat you, and that's something that Allen's been very good at. And, in these teams, they look and say, okay, well, this guy, he's got the target on his back. Let's not let this guy beat us. He's the stud. Tonight, unfortunately, Flower Mound doesn't do a very good job of that with Brandon Stevens. He's the guy that you just say, well, don't let him beat us. Brandon Stevens tonight beat Flower Mound.
Yes. Most definitely. And you never want to let one player beat you. You never want to let a combination of players beat you. And the way that Mitch Cason and Caden Smith have been able to play with each other this year, they have a potential to beat Flower Mound, just that combination by themselves. Sure. So the bend but not break will have to be out in full force next week against Marcus.
Yeah, and like you said, a rivalry game, you never know what can happen. We're going to take one final break. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up for you. You're listening to Flower Mound Jaguars football right here on ChampionSportsRadio.com.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's Zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Welcome back to the Neal E. Wilson Athletic Complex here in Flower Mound, Texas, on the campus of Flower Mound High School. It is a final tonight. The Plano Wildcats defeat the Flower Mound Jaguars 36-31. I'm Eli Jordan, along with Cody Barfing, and welcome back to the In Command Broadcasting post-game show. Got just a few minutes left here in our post-game presentation, and Cody, I guess it's time to award some players of the game.
Yeah, Eli, I think usually the way we do it is we award players of the game on both sides of the field. And starting out with Plano, I think that one pretty much explains for himself. I think you have to go with Brandon Stevens, the Stanford-bound running back. I think earlier you mentioned he had 233 rushing yards, a couple of long touchdown runs, and he really put Flower Mound in the rearview mirror tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're in the second half, early in the second half, third quarter, he tears off about a 70-yard TD run, and really that kind of broke the floodgates open for Plano, an offense that had been relatively stagnant for the last couple of weeks. They got shut out last week against Allen, and then this week didn't do much in the first half until the last minute or so when they got a long touchdown, a long reception, and then a touchdown catch in 2 plays there right at the end of the half. And then Brandon Stevens comes out in the second half and rips off a long TD run. It was kind of, it was one of those things that really kind of opened the floodgates for Plano, and you saw their offense really kind of flourish after that.
Yeah, most definitely. And on the Flower Mound side of the field, I think we have to go with a guy who we didn't see a whole lot from really the first 4 weeks of the season, but tonight I think Chase Lemke really came into his own as a pass catcher. We saw him line up in a fullback position, split out to a tight end position every now and then, and he had 2 touchdown catches on the night, and a really big game for him, and he kept Flower Mound, really kept him in this game for the duration, I thought.
Yeah, Lemke, a guy we've seen as more of a running back for the first few weeks of the season. Last week they started lining him up as more of kind of a slot tight end just a little bit, and then tonight that was almost exclusively what he did, was a slot tight end. He got a couple of goal line carries there late, wasn't able to convert there, but did catch a pair of touchdown passes, and like you said, I think we may have actually found somewhere where to put Chase Lemke. He's a big body, a guy that can create some matchup problems, especially in that defensive backfield, a big, strong kid. So I would expect to see some more of him in kind of that offset kind of tight end position like we saw him tonight. Well, Cody, our next broadcast of Flower Mound football, the Mound Showdown, is next week. Let's thank some sponsors here quickly before we get going. Let's thank Strategic Direct Solutions, proud to be a senior level sponsor of the Flower Mound Jaguars. SDS is a staffing partner that provides great talent to companies all across North America. Visit them on the web at sdsllc.com to learn more. Assure that you have the best players in the best positions on your team. Contact SDS today. By Rapid Med Urgent Care in Highland Village, a family-owned and operated business that delivers the best, most convenient medical care. You can sign in and find more information at rapidmed.com. Also brought to you by Which Wich Superior Sandwiches. Proudly supports Jaguar football. Visit Which Wich off $24.99 in front of JCPenney for over 40 types of sandwiches, customized by you with their unique bag ordering system. Which Wich Superior Sandwiches. Nene's Designs is your official spirit wear provider for all Flower Mound Jaguar football spirit wear, specializing in corporate apparel, decorating, and custom spirit wear apparel for schools. To learn more, visit them online at nenesdesigns.com. That's Neenees designs.com. Mellow Mushroom. Game time means mellow time. Mellow Mushroom now open in Flower Mound on 1171 just east of Long Prairie Road. Athlete tested, coach approved for pregame, postgame, or for the game. It's Mellow Mushroom. Bite, sip, rejoice, repeat. By Whirly Ball. 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hurst. Leagues are forming right now, so visit them online at whirlyball.info. And our postgame show was brought to you by In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. Call 972-851-7888 or online at incommandbroadcasting.com. Our next broadcast of Flower Mound football is next week and the Mound Showdown. That's right, it's time of the year for crosstown rivals, Flower Mound and Marcus, to lock up in district play. Kickoff for that one, 7:30. But as usual, we will be on the air at 7 o'clock sharp with the Whirly Ball pregame show. Cody, any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, I think I'm really excited for next week. I think this is going to be a great game, a great rivalry game. Both of these teams are going to be very excited to play. Flower Mound, or Marcus rather, coming off of a tough loss to Allen, playing them really well. Flower Mound coming off of a tough loss to Plano. Something is going to have to give, and if Flower Mound can get a win next week against a Marcus Marauder team who has been much improved this year from last year, it's going to really open up the playoff race in 6-6A.
Cody, it's been a pleasure, my friend. Flower Mound Jaguars football has been a production of Champion Sports Radio. Your final score tonight is the Plano Wildcats 36 and the Flower Mound Jaguars 31. For Cody Barfnick, I'm Eli Jordan. Take care and good night from Neil Wilson Stadium here in Flower Mound, Texas.